All right, welcome everybody. It's the Thursday Night Forum. We are back, and Stan's got a nice little background there. You can see we're having a little bit of fun with it before we went live. Pull up a chair, you all. Welcome here, Arsenal Fan Circle. And you know what, Stan, you had that background that you found, and I coincidentally, this is a coincidence that I have this as well, hanging in my bedroom. So.
It wasn't a coincidence because I got this from your post.
Oh, okay. It's not a coincidence.
Arsenal Fan Circle logo. Got it.
Okay. All right. So we'll go through it a little bit. Why don't we go through it a little bit while we're here? You know.
Yeah, BX is on the door.
Huh?
BX
is here in the house.
Taking his post.
The main one down here is 13 league titles that we won over the years. 2 league cups over here. Hopefully we can do something about that this season, you know, and 14 FA Cups. I mean, that would be nice. It'd be nice to have that little cup double and the league title, Premier League title as well.
15 is nice. 15 would be nice for the FA Cup. 15 is a nice number.
15, yeah. 15 and 14, not bad. 3. I like the number 3 as well. We'd like to have some more league cups, but we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. And we have the 1994 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. Alan Smith scoring that goal.
That's right.
To win the UEFA Cup against. It'll come to me. Parma.
Right.
Wasn't it Parma?
Thomas Brolin.
Thomas Brolin. Aspria.
Yeah.
All of those players. That was a good team. But that Arsenal team beat them. You might remember further back in Arsenal history, there was some European losses, Fairs Cup losses, things like that. I suppressed the memory of a loss against Galatasaray in a final. A few other things.
For me, it's more recent. It will always be that final against Barcelona. Right. I don't want to watch replays of that. I don't want to watch that match back.
Agreed.
That's the one for me that I felt, you know, the season that we were having, you know, that was the time to do it. You know, the team was hot, red hot.
Yep.
You know?
Who knows?
We must have been going into that game as favourites. We must have been going if you were betting, right?
Yeah, but the way we ran up to the final and the way we were playing, I don't think we conceded a goal. I think it was something crazy. We hadn't conceded a goal for a crazy amount of minutes. And, you know, it wasn't a settled back four either, I remember.
Almunia.
Yeah, Almunia. Yeah, listen, we have some scores to settle from down through the years. League Cup scores, FA Cup scores, titles, Premier League titles, and we want to maybe put our mark on Europe as well in the biggest way, the Champions League. So you know, the title of the podcast is "Enjoy the Journey." Stan, how's it going so far?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. All right, Ray. BX is on the door. Hopefully some more will be coming in. But, I mean, how could I not be in a good mood? You know, there's, 8 games to go now? Is it 8?
Yep.
We're slowly chiselling away, and we picked up another 3 points. Yes, we have a game in hand, but it still gives us a cushion. And when you see that they're drawing against Forest, it gives you hope, right? That if we continue to grind out these wins, and I suppose, you know, to some people, there's a lot of shouts about how unattractive it is and how it's ruining the league. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that in more detail as the show goes on. But, you know, it's another, you know, the number is getting smaller.
Yes.
To get to the end. So, you know, we've got to, you know what I'm getting at? There's 8 games to go. Next week, we'll be talking about 7 games. And hopefully there's another 3 points. If we continue doing what we need to do, it's going to be enough.
Yeah. I was thinking about
it's going to be enough. Man City only picked up a point. They didn't pick. They lost 2. Right?
They dropped 2 points for sure.
So that these points are fine, man, but they really help, right? They're so fine margins, but it's up to us to continue to get maximum points.
Yeah, yesterday was a night where the media and the spin doctors love the narrative, right? Because a combination of results would have been 2 points between the two protagonists at the top of the league, or it could have been 8 points between the two protagonists.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not being arrogant. I'm not dumb enough to say that we're not going to drop any more points between now and the end. I'm not going to be that arrogant to say that.
Yeah.
But I just think I said this a long time ago in this broadcast that I felt that we may be in a situation where we may drop a few more points here and there, but City maybe are going to drop more. And even if we drop a few, and it's a game of, and we've got that cushion between us, and they're dropping points, we might finish the league only 1 point ahead of them, right? But it will still be enough.
Yeah, it'll still be enough.
It'll still be enough to lift the silverware.
Let's put it this way: Liverpool had 9 draws and 4 defeats to win 84 points last season. Not that Liverpool are the benchmark. I'd like to actually do better than 84 points, but that means if we're going to match the 9 draws and the 4 defeats, that would be just drawing 2 more games and losing 1 other game out of the 8 remaining. I can't really see us going 5 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss even. I think we can do better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Manchester City, whilst this will have been this weekend, this midweek will have been a huge deflating. What's the word? Huge blow to their.
Well, they would have been, if you was looking in the rear view mirror, we can now read their number plate. They're that close. Yeah. Whereas now, it's like they're following us, but you can just see them coming over the top of the hill, and there's a big gap between us. We're still, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We, with 2 points behind, we could just make out the person driving the car, whether it was a man or a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we can see their license plate. Now we can see their wheels. They're just that little bit further back.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah, and
nobody seems to like it.
let's just jump into that. You know what I mean? Because Arsenal, it's just hate, right, Stan? It's just hate from the rivals.
I just think that basically it sounds like pundits and now managers like Fabian Herzl and players are frustrated. They find the way that Arsenal play to be frustrating. Okay, my answer to that is that rather than whining about that, why not try and adapt your game to find a way to beat that and win? That's how it works. Saying like, oh, the corners. It's like, so okay, until the FA bans corners in football matches, we will continue to use that aspect of the game if we could get an advantage. It's not like we're doing anything wrong. It's not like we're running into the box, pulling out a potato sack and putting it over the opposing goalkeeper's head and scoring. We're using corners. It's like saying free kicks. So what, every time Roberto Carlos scored like a huge free kick, or David Beckham, okay, what do we do now? Ban free kicks? We're just using what's available. And as for time wasting, I was listening to Don Hutchinson on the ESPN, and he was saying, about the time wasting, and the other people in the studio are going, yeah, but everyone does it. Time wasting. Arsenal didn't invent time wasting, and even though you might not like it, one person was saying like Shaka, he was saying like, if you're winning a title and you think that's going to help you, and you end up winning the title, he's like, then there you go. And he's going, yeah, but they're doing it on 50 minutes. And he's going, he was basically saying that we're the first ones to ever start doing it. And I just thought, how many times you played against Newcastle and they used to time waste against us?
Yeah.
And I look at it this way, right? You just got to sweep all of that out of the way and understand that the reason that these other players, fans, and managers are shouting our name out, whether it's complimentary or it's not complimentary, and none of it is complimentary, it's because they're worried about us. If we wasn't a worry, you wouldn't hear our name. It's a compliment with a threat.
Yeah,
if
totally.
you weren't a threat to anybody, there wouldn't be any complaints. We could do whatever the way we wanted. And I look at it this way, right? How many times have we finished second? And we all remember like the seasons where we were playing maybe a little bit more free flowing. Seasons where Odegaard scored 15 goals and 7 assists and whatnot. But where did we end up at the end of that season trophy wise? What was our rewards for that? Nothing.
Zero. Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Not even a cup in a domestic competition, right?
Yeah.
So the managers looked at that and found, okay, we need to do something else, because what we're doing here isn't a winning formula. Yeah. And for whatever reason now, he's managed to find a way of enabling us to get to the top of the league, and at this point in the season be 7 points ahead.
Yeah,
100%. If it's functional football and we end up winning the league, okay. But you have to remember as well that this is a team that's not won it before. It's not like we've won it a few seasons out of the last 8, and we've changed the way that we're playing. We've tried other things. Look at under Arsene Wenger. There were times we had he was trying to fit 3 10s into the team. And some of it looked nice at times. Do you know what I mean? But apart from that odd occasion, we weren't getting to Champions League finals. We weren't finishing at the top of the group in the old competition. We weren't pushing the pedal on the league. It didn't get us anywhere. So if we get to the end of this season and we're lifting silverware, maybe once we get to that point, then we'll evolve from there. But at the moment, we ain't got there. In how many years? 20 years? And if this is the way that we have to do it, if this is the way that we have to do it, because we've tried, other ways and it hasn't been fruitful and it works, then it's confidence, and then you can say, well, okay, maybe we can. Who knows? Yeah. But so far, for me, it's working. And the more that these other teams, managers, they want to bitch about us, I say continue to do that, because that would be my team talk. The only reason they're talking about us is because they think we're a threat. If we weren't a threat, you wouldn't hear them shouting out our names in interviews, post-match, pre-match. Do you know what I'm getting at? It wouldn't be. So we're obviously doing something right, because we're not cheating. They want to talk about us and try to say that we're cheating in some way. We're not cheating. When you've got another team out there that's actually in court case and has over 115 charges pending. And we're the problem.
Hypocrisy.
But we're the problem.
Absolute hypocrisy.
And it's not as if, as well, some of those earlier seasons when Man City started being successful, I didn't like some of the way that they played their football. It just seemed to be retain the ball, pass, forward go, okay, have a shot. But there was a lot of just, you know what I mean? The passing around. That might be for some people, but me personally, I like something that's more direct.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, we're not breaking football. It's ridiculous to say that. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Great innings, BX Gunner. We mentioned you already at the door. Thank you for being here, BX Gunner. And yes, BX Gunner, let the good times roll. Yes, Alonso, I left you the link now. I was getting distracted a little bit at the time. I remember exactly what happened, but I can't apportion blame, or else I'd be in trouble within this household. DWTT, I minded to say, don't waste the trip. Gary's in the house as well. Don't waste the trip. It's a lot of enjoy the journey. This is a journey us personally have been on for about 8 years now. We started podcasting 8 years ago, before Mikel Arteta came. And Stan and I have the thing between us of the rotating abacus scale of Mikel Arteta's reign. And some of the ratios went 80-20, and 80 in the favor of we weren't really that happy. We weren't really that happy with the process, but we had to trust the process. We had the phases, whatever you want to call it. There's always been a stick to beat us, Stan.
Whereas now I'm 80-20, but it's the other way.
Yes.
You know,
maybe even it'll get a little closer to 100 because as these 8 games,
exactly. And if things maybe start to go wrong, touch wood, it won't. At 80, it may start to come down the other way, right?
But surely it happens.
It's kind of tightrope where we are now in this point in the season. We're in a really, really good place, but we've not got to the finish line anywhere yet. You know, we can be optimistic, hopeful, but we should still not take anything for granted. There's still work to be done. There's still work to be done. But I will say one thing as well. This heat that we're getting from the media and everyone trying to derail us. I think that the poor performances of Tottenham and Tottenham now being 1 point out of the relegation zone takes a lot of heat off of us now, because this is now another subject that the media are going to focus on. Yeah, they're going to want to be picking over that carcass.
I mean,
the fans are saying that this new guy, they already want him gone, Igor Tudor. You know what I mean? When a week ago it was like Igor Ball, where's that gone? So it takes the heat off us, right? They've kind of rinsed the thing about Arsenal, and we're not breaking any rules. Like, okay, yeah, we score a lot of goals from set pieces. Live with it. It's not like anybody else never scored from a set piece. Okay, we've got a throwing coach. Live with it. That's not going to change, right? We're not doing anything wrong. It's not like we're a Formula One team and we've like fiddled around with the car and added like secret parts. You know what I mean? We've not done anything wrong. We're just looking at every aspect.
We didn't pull a McLaren in Las Vegas, right? Last year, we didn't come a cropper with the stewards and the umpires.
All we're doing is trying to utilize every aspect of the game to ensure that we come out with the maximum points. And so far, it's getting us there.
There is so much to get into tonight. You've touched on a lot of things already, and we'll expand upon them. But this season could be a season where Arsenal are champions of England, and Tottenham go down. Tottenham get relegated. You know?
Yeah, I was talking to some people about that. I said, like, could you imagine? And I said, like, maybe I'm going to call it. And we win the league this season, and in that year, when we finally get the league, our closest rival in the Spuds, they get relegated. And the thing is with that, right, there's no guarantee that they can come straight back up, because some of the teams that are at the bottom in that area now, they've got players where, should they get relegated, a majority of those players will still be around in the division below, fighting to try and get promoted again. Yeah, there'll be some changes, but do you know what I mean? Whereas if Tottenham, I guarantee you now, there's a lot of Tottenham players who have already said to their agents, start putting your feelers out. Start putting your feelers out. I don't want to.
And then there's the narrative, and you've touched upon it. Maybe it's not the narrative that they're too good to go down. It's that the players are not equipped for it. Their players are not equipped. They don't have the stomach for it. And in the same way you've said in previous podcasts, Dan, you don't do the points forecasting anymore because you never actually know what's going to happen. And that's been borne out this week as well.
Just look at it this way, right? If Tottenham get relegated, right? Let's look at the worst case scenario. They get relegated. Do you think, I just pulled some names out of the air, do you think Mickey van der Veen, Romario, Xavi Simmons, Richarlison maybe,
Pauline,
do you think they're going to continue with their contract and play in the Championship?
Hell no. No.
There'll be some clauses in some of those contracts, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah,
but they're going to be unsettled. It's not like when Forest go down, for example. A lot of those players, they're going to be like, fuck, we've got to they're still going to be there, which means that they don't want. What I'm saying is they're going to fight to not go down. they're going to have to do that battle. Whereas now Tottenham, if the Tottenham players are like, yeah, this club's fucked. It doesn't matter if we go down because I'm not going to be here anyway. That means that they're not going to pick up points because they're not going to be running around. They're going to. Do you see where I'm coming from? That's what I mean. Like they ain't got the stomach for it. They don't care if the club goes down. They're not going down with it. They're not going down with the ship. They're running off the ship. Do you know what I mean? A little bit like what Mice and Rats do. They're running off the ship. They're not going to go down and then start working in the Championship and the club will add to it and they're going to... No. Mickey van der Veen ain't going to stay, surely. Romero won't stay with Charleston. Solanke, Simmons, Molo, Paulinho's on loan. He's probably the only one who's like, well, I've got a way out of here already, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm just on loan.
Jed Spence. But Jed Spence came up with Nottingham Forest, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... Listen, I wouldn't say they're world-class names. I wouldn't say they're big names in world football, but they're pretty accomplished, decent professional footballers. You know what I mean?
And it doesn't even have to be back in the Premier League, right? There's other leagues.
Yeah. They'll go back to the Bundesliga.
Conor Gallagher's just recently signed for them, and I think he's on 240 bags. How do you sustain a wage like that in the Championship with no guarantee of getting promoted? You can't, surely.
Virgil van Dijk has a shit attitude. I saw there was an interview from him, but I didn't hear what he said. But I didn't think this Tottenham thing could be a reality, really, Stan, because I thought they would have enough in them to get some points to beat Fulham, maybe away from home. Who they play? Crystal Palace at home tonight, and
Fulham.
They're just
last two matches, right? Palace and Fulham. You know, you think that Tottenham should be able to get some out of those two fixtures, right? They've got nothing.
Yeah. They're free falling.
They've not won a game this year.
Yeah, they're free falling. So we'll see what happens. We'll watch across the lane, with interest. In the 8 games, they've got 8 cup finals to come. We've got 8 cup finals. They've got 8 relegation playoffs.
And if you're a team that's near the bottom of the table, and you see you've got Tottenham coming up, you'd be rubbing your hands together. You can nick some points here. Yeah. You're not like, oh my god, fucking hell. Just at this moment, we've got to play Tottenham. Oh no. You'd be like, yeah, bring it on. Make sure you pick me, boss. I mean, I can get something against these guys because they're just walking around. They're literally just walking around because they know that they ain't going to be. Come what's going to happen, they're leaving. They're gone.
Yeah.
A lot of them players don't want to be there. Van der Veen and Romero don't want to be there at the moment. You can tell. It doesn't matter who's managing. They want out. They've had enough, right? So that's... And you say, okay, yeah, well, you can just, in the next game, you can just rotate and put another 11 out. They ain't got another 11. Because they've got a lot of injuries, right? Which you got to deal with, like we used to have to do before we made sure that we had a bigger squad. Which means that you've still got to roll the same dice again with these players. Almost the same lineup. But you think it's just going to fix itself overnight? No.
Tiger, who's joined us, has said first time they've not won in 11 games in the Premier League. Have they not won in 11 games? I think that's what that means. They've not won in 11 games.
No, I think he's saying it's the first time that usually when they finish the league, they've won at least 11 games throughout the season.
Okay.
Minimum kind of thing. And this will be the first time that they've not won 11 games in the league.
Oh, because they only have about 5 or 6 right now. Wins, whatever it is. Listen, enough of Tottenham anyway. Maybe we can dip back in there. But, back to Arsenal a little bit. And, I saw something of interest. I shared it with you. So I'll just read it out.
I didn't get a chance to read that. Was that the Rio Ferdinand?
The Rio Ferdinand. And listen, a little bit of context here. I'm not one who actively seeks out Rio Ferdinand's quotes or puts too much respect on what he's saying.
Yeah. I've seen the lunchbox.
But it's true. It's true.
Thermos flask.
The Rio Ferdinand lunchbox.
Yeah, but I get you. I'm not one that usually looks him out because he does sometimes what I hear coming out of his mouth. I'm not down with that. I don't agree. But go on.
Well, so as with Rio Ferdinand, it's not short. So give me a second here, okay? According to Rio Ferdinand, Arsenal FC are not just winning games; they're building something much more dangerous, and he didn't hide it. Ferdinand believes Arsenal are going to win the Premier League by hook or by crook, by any means necessary. Now, for some people, that sentence will sound like criticism, but if you actually understand football, it's the ultimate compliment. Because title winners are not remembered for playing pretty. That's important. We're not title winners are not always remembered for playing pretty. They're remembered for winning. Look at the way Arsenal are playing right now under Mikel Arteta. They defend like warriors. Certain players spring to mind, right? They fight for every second ball. They dominate territory. And when the games get tight, question mark, they go to their most terrifying weapon, set pieces. Ferdinand admitted it himself. When Arsenal get a set piece, opponents are scared. Not nervous, scared. The deliveries are so dangerous that teams already feel the goal coming before the ball is even kicked. That is not luck. That is not dark arts. That is elite preparation. But that is a team that has been carefully built piece by piece, season by season. And Ferdinand believes something even scarier is coming. Now, this we can talk about this next part. If Arsenal lift the Premier League trophy this season, next year they return with belief, confidence, and experience of champions. And that version of Arsenal, question mark, he says they will be even harder team to beat against, to play against. A different beast, stronger mentally, more ruthless, more dominant, which explains something interesting happening right now. The louder, this is important now, the louder Arsenal get, the angrier rival fans become. Suddenly, the people who laughed at Arsenal 2 years ago are now calling them lucky, boring, set piece merchants. And I'll go on to say myself, destroying the game, right? But that reaction says more about them than it does about Arsenal. Because when a team you mocked starts lifting trophies, you only have two choices. You either respect it or you hate them. And if Arsenal winning the league by any means necessary makes you angry, then maybe the problem isn't Arsenal. Maybe the problem is that deep down, you know your own club isn't built like this. So that's, for Rio Ferdinand, I'll give him a lot of credit for putting all of that together. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. As I've always said, I've always liked Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah,
So, fair play.
top bloke with extra expert
I was just
analysis,
saying how much I love listening to him. But
expert
no,
analysis of
I've
the
got to
game.
say that, he said exactly, almost word for word, how I would like to put it. That's how it is. This is how it is. This isn't a kickabout over the park until it gets dark, and it's like, okay, we finished like 17-10. We could meet back tomorrow and play again, but it's getting dark and I've got to go in for me fucking dinner. This is big stuff. This is big stuff.
Yeah.
Arsenal haven't won this in the last 20 odd years. So what? We shouldn't be trying to do everything that we can to win it. We haven't got that luxury. We've tried a lot of different ways, right? Not even just with this manager, even with Unai. Look at 10 years of Wenger, the last 10 years of Wenger, for example. We tried a lot of different ways and a lot of different things. Even ideas about how big the squad should be, how small the squad should be. Should we have more senior players? Should it be young players? We went for the period where we had a lot of young players, when you look at the Kieran Gibbs and the Denilsons, that kind of era. Do you know what I mean? And we didn't get anything from that when we had a lot of those young players and we were paying them big money so that people wouldn't sniff around them. But then we didn't win anything with them. And when we wanted to try and do something else, now that we were saddled with them, because we'd already given them the big money. And other teams have said, well, you didn't win nothing. You didn't live up to your potential. You didn't do what they thought you were going to do. So we ain't paying you that big money. And so deals don't happen. And then what did we do after that? We started getting in like older, more mature people like your fucking Liechtensteiners. Do you know what I mean? We're going in that area. Do you know what I mean? And you David Luiz's. We tried all of going into that area as well, right? And we didn't get nothing from that either.
No. No, 100%. Just to tack on a little bit to what Ferdinand was saying, and the I mean, the things that he touched on. The first thing is title winners. Okay, there's going to be some weekends where you put in performance and you look like a team who's a title-winning team. We did that at Tottenham. We've had 4 or 5, 6 performances now where you say that was a real title-winning performance. But there's other facets to winning a title, and that's winning an ugly game as well, Stan. Winning a 1-0 game.
A lot of it's hindsight, though. It's like, coming away from Sunderland with a 2-2 draw. At the end of the season, if you don't win anything, you're like, 2 points lost. Or if you do win something, you're going, that was a canny point. Really canny. We got out of there with a point. Do you see what I'm, it's going to be where you get to the end result, because then you're going to look back and go, where were the points lost? What happened? Where were the performances where we just lacked? Where are the ones where there was poor selection? That's what you're going to be doing under a microscope.
And that's the cold hard truth of football. If you come second, second and lose by a point, you're going to look for that.
A result like that, as an example, is looked at. Whereas if you win, that looks like genius. You managed to go out there and get a point. Good man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those, right? It's the game is based on results. So this is why I say at the moment, you've got to stick with the plan. But go on, you were saying, sorry, about...
no, we'll break it down.
Ferdinand, MBE.
Yeah, this is the Rio Ferdinand section of the podcast.
I wanted to get knighted now. I like him.
Title winners are sometimes not remembered for being pretty. I mean, I think Liverpool went and beat Brentford last season in a scrubby game, 1-0, and it was a big boost to them toward the end. There are games where you get Manchester City have done it before. You just mentioned Manchester City, where they would pass teams to death, and then a shot would come in and would be deflected, and they win 1-0.
Get to the stage where, like, if you're playing against Man City, you can pull out like a little stool, cross your leg, and start reading the newspaper, and they'll just continue passing it around you, and you're just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like a sketch or something like that. I'm exaggerating it, but sometimes they would pass it to death. And for me, I was like, okay, this really isn't my style. And I get it. I can understand why some people are looking at the way we're playing at the moment, and they're like, but we are winning. It's getting us results. It's the reason why we're 7 points ahead in the league at the moment. And, that's the reason why bookies at the moment are going to give you short odds for us not to win it. Sorry, short odds to win it.
Yeah.
Because even, only single digits, baby. 8 to go.
8 to go.
Just think about it. In a week's time, we could be sat here going 7 to go. And before you know it, you're talking 6. Then you're talking 5.
Now, for me...
Right? And then you're getting into the territory where you're like, it could be the next week where we actually win it, and it's not even the end yet. You never know, right? Yeah.
For me now, the title, I'm going to call the title run-in when we get into April. That's kind of, for me, when you get into the run-in, you get into April and May. These are the 2 months that, you start putting the real cinder blocks down.
We all know what the big test is that's coming up. We all know that what everyone is looking at as the title decider.
Middle of April. Yeah.
We've got to go to the Etihad.
Yep.
Yeah, but we do play them in the Carabao Cup before that, right?
Coming up in 2 weeks, I believe, from now. 2 or 3 weeks, the 22nd.
And for me, I think that could be... I've said this before. I believe that at this moment in time, that's our biggest game of the season, because depending on what we do there, could kind of lay out what happens after that.
Well,
you go out there, right, and you school them. You feel really good when you're going to play them in the league, right? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're the ones that I think...
There are going to be 2 different games. 2 different games, Dan. 2, but different occasions.
But especially as well, it's a final as well, right? You school them and you win. You feeling pretty? You're not bothered to go and play them. You're not worried about playing them because you just beat them in the final when they should have been giving you that A game, right?
Now, would you?
However, if you lose, then you're like shit. Do you know what I mean?
Would you call that?
This could be difficult when we go to the league. I think this. Do you know what I'm getting at? For me, it's much. That is where you're laying down the foundation. That is like.
Would you call that a 50-50 game, Stan?
It's a must-win. For me, that's
Yeah,
the
but
type.
like, would you call it? Would you call it?
In psychology? You don't think, fuck, we dropped the ball.
But is it a 50-50? You know what I mean? The result is not a foregone conclusion. You know, I think on the day when you talk about
only one person leaves the winner, right? With silverware for that game.
Yeah.
I just really think that if we are able to do that, I think psychologically for us, it's such a boost going into playing them in the league, which is as important, like a dress rehearsal. If we don't, it's definitely going to be harder. How do we bounce back? Are we still licking our wounds in the next league game and fumble it there? Because you see what I'm getting at? It's so fine margins.
I wonder
right?
how the bookies.
A lot.
I wonder how the bookies are looking at that game. You know, if anyone knows the odds, you know, we might be shade on favorites. You know what I mean in that game.
But this is football. You know, I'm getting that. This is football.
Yep. So I would say it's a 50-50 in that final. Right?
And it's one of those when what I like about this one when you say to someone, "What's your prediction?" This isn't a league game where you can just go, "Yeah, it'll be a draw." This is a cup final. You've got to get off the fence. You've got to say win or lose.
You could say Arsenal are going to win on penalties. That's what you could say.
He's still winning though, right?
That's as much on the fence as you can say.
You're still leaving with the trophy. So, you know, if you ask somebody what their prediction is, they have to give you one or the other.
Do you? So that's the Carabao Cup final is going to take care of itself later this month.
If you ask me, I think it'd be a draw.
In the Premier League race, we're definitely favorites to win the league at this point. I know you said anything can happen, right? But now we're probably like
at this moment in time. Yeah, if the league ended today, we'd be champions.
Yeah, but you're feeling more confident than not. I'm feeling like a 65 or 70% confidence.
I don't use that word confidence. For me, I prefer optimism. I'm very optimistic about our season. I'm not confident. Do you know what I mean? Because my heart's been broken many a time finishing second a lot. One time, even 1 point. That season, we finished 1 point away. I was shocked that we got that far. I was like, we got 1 point away? Damn, I didn't think we were equipped for that. Fuck. If only we'd got, in this, when you look back, guys, if only we'd won to the draw in that one, we'd have won it now by 2 points. Fuck. Yeah. How close was that? How close was that? When you look at it that way, you're like, fuck. That you look back at a result and you think we could have got something out of that, or a result where it's like the fucking refs really fucked us out of that penalty shout or whatever it might be. That's how fine it was. 1 point. So
Rio goes on to say Arsenal defend like warriors. Then, so you know, who springs to mind when you see defending like warriors? It's Magalhaes, right? Gabriel Magalhaes.
Oh yeah.
It's Declan Rice. It's Saliba.
Yeah. You know, if people say that Saliba is, they could call him the Rolls Royce, which gives me this. You know, when I think, why are they using that? It was when he's silent when he moves, it's very gliding. You know, well then the opposite to that is Gabriel Magalhaes is like he's one of the Spartans in 300.
Yeah.
And they're like, Sparta! He's the other way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's the guy that pushes you into that big hole and says, if you're looking for earth and water, there's plenty down there.
Yeah. Which is like, you talk about that Sunderland game away from home, you know, where he got mixed up with Raya. The Wolverhampton Wanderers game where he got mixed up with Raya. It's just not what you think of Gabriel Magalhaes. Giving the ball away against Bournemouth when he came back from an injury. Yeah, we'll forgive him for that. But he's shown...
No one's perfect, man. Nobody's perfect. Martin Zubimendi, as much as I love him, he's made a couple of costly mistakes at times and almost, you know, has put us into jail a couple of times and almost, you know, someone's had to dig him out. But look, this is his first season playing in England, and I definitely believe that obviously playing at Arsenal, he's not being asked to do the same thing that he was doing from the team that we bought him from. He's having to do new stuff. He's in a new league. It's more intense than the Spanish league. He's probably having to clock on more mileage per game. He's learning a lot of stuff. So he's not done too bad because he does score goals.
Oh yeah,
You know,
a couple of beauties.
He does score goals. So come next season, hopefully he's at a stage where those mistakes are less because.
And he's part of the comment that Rio said about dominating territory. So Zubamendi's been pretty good in that respect. Declan Rice has been really good in that respect.
There's
Whoever's
been a
played
formation.
that central attacking midfielder, whether it's Eze, Odegaard, Mikel Mourinho, they've all been that third cog in the wheel as well to maintain possession.
There's been a slight, we were talking about Eze, who's starting to look a little bit more into the game, and there's been a slight formation tweak. It's when it was so previously a back four, a deep lying midfielder in front of the back four, and then 2 8s, and then that front three. Now it seems to be the back four, and Zubamendi and Declan Rice are almost playing like a double pivot, and the third midfielder is now Eze in more of what you would sort of recognise as a 10 role, right?
Yeah.
Not more as an 8, more as a 10.
Yeah.
And the front three are more playing as a central striker and the wingers being wingers, right? So there has been a formation tweak.
It's been strange.
I like to see that. I like to see that. There were,
I like to see it as well.
We went for a period where we weren't, we missed some points recently. Going back, we went for a period where we missed points. We were leaving matches with points on the table. And
Liverpool, Forest, Wolves.
We'd leave and go, how the fuck did that happen? Should have had all 3, and we've only left with 1.
We're a bit toothless up front now. We hammered Tottenham a couple of games ago, and Eze was amazing again. In that Tottenham game.
But what I'm saying is that the manager's made a tweak. He's seen that there's something needed to be done. There are some managers like an Ange Postecoglou, for example, who, irrespective of what the results were, would have the following week done the same thing. Yeah. And I'll tell you another one. What's his name? He was at Man United recently.
Amram.
Yes. He was like that with his formation, right? There were times when that just was not working. You may have not had the right players for that job, but every week he was doing that thing. Mikel Arteta, he's adapting. We went for this period where we're leaving points on the table, and he was like, hold on. I can't keep doing this every week.
It was
madness.
It was a bit sketchy.
We're going to be leaving more points, and he's made an adjustment. And so far, since that adjustment's been made, and it kind of started when he played that match with Saka for 45 minutes, playing in a 10 role.
Yeah,
with Madueke playing on the wing.
Yeah,
remember that's where it kind of started, right? That
was the way the leads.
And then there was talk about. Remember there were the interviews with Arteta talking about how Eze wasn't happy with him and blah blah blah. So now we never knew the context of that, but we knew that there were conversations. The manager had basically said, "We've had a chat," and he's told me. So I get to Christian then. So what did he? Looking at the tweaks that's been made, has Eze said to him, "Look, you saw where I played at Palace, and you like that, and that's what I thought you were buying me for. So why am I not playing? Why am I not getting a chance to play that role?
Be in there, yeah.
Maybe it's been, and there has been a compromise somewhere, because there is sometimes a school of thought that no matter what you were doing at that club, become Arsenal, you've got to play in this way for Arteta in this system, because to playing this position, Arteta believes you need to do this and that. Maybe that's been freed up a little bit now, and it's okay.
Hopefully.
And maybe the fact that the results may have bore that out. He's okay. Let's try something different, because it does seem that Eze, since the Saka experiment, it's more of a 10, isn't it? And Declan Rice and Zubamendi, they seem to be playing, I think, more as a 2.
Yeah, in midfield. Yeah. And maybe I've always felt the double pivot was beneficial to maintaining possession in midfield and winning.
Especially when you've got 2 players that can, in certain phases of the game, they're comfortable to be playing football further up the pitch as well.
Yeah, they can go from the 2 to the two a left eight and a right eight. Eze will drift right a little bit. Maybe Declan Rice can zip into that area.
Excuse me,
Ferdinand,
man. I've got to get another beer.
yeah, I'm just going to fully do the Rio Ferdinand a little bit here, and he goes on to say Arsenal are scary when it comes to set pieces. And listen, everyone and our rival fans, they have to know to be really, really good at set pieces, you have to be able to coordinate your players. We've seen our players on the back post and filter through the 6 yard box to take their positions immediately before a free kick or a corner is being taken. The accuracy of the corners has to be perfect. If you are a little bit flat or a little bit high on the cross from the corner, it's going to get cut out from a defender. The ball has to land perfectly into the area that they need it to be. Where's Uncle Tony? He has not joined yet, so I think we'll have to call him Uncle Stony, and he's on one of his own trips right now. But that's set pieces. Rival fans, they just want to stick to beat Arsenal with. I mean, would we want our team to be playing more open football and playing more champagne football? Of course we would, but you get into the last 10 games of a season and you have a lead on Manchester City. Better believe the Manchester City are exerting pressure on you. And you watch Semenyo, he's in the form of his life right now with Manchester City. I actually was thinking, I don't believe that he can maintain that. He scored something like 7 goals in 12 games since he's moved to City. That, for me, that cannot continue. Semenyo is just on a purple patch right now. There are players in that team that are not performing, and it was just lovely. It was just lovely indeed to see Nottingham Forest taking points away from Man City. Morgan Gibbs White with a cheeky back heel, and then was it Anderson with a shot that was a lot like Cunha that killed us. The Manchester United player killed us at the Emirates in January. It was a very similar shot there, and not fair play to Nottingham Forest. They are fighting, and they fought like hell yesterday against Manchester City. Held on for a point. Tottenham are real trouble. But the set pieces, Arsenal set pieces, it's no coincidence. It takes skill and accuracy, and it takes practice and preparation to be able to put together set pieces that have been so crucial this season, Stan.
Do you remember that player a couple of seasons ago, maybe last season? Was it Douglas Luiz who used to score from the corner? He'd take the corner.
Yeah.
And he would score from it. He would actually get the ball from the corner kick. I never once saw him do that and thought to myself, well, that's fucking horrible. There's no way that if there was a player on the market that could do that we should buy him, because that's...
Well, I'll tell you one thing. So,
from a corner kick. And then
Stan, if he did that one time, he'd be lucky, right? If he did that one time, he'd be lucky.
Madueke did it. I'm like, fuck. You've got, when he did that, I wasn't like, oh no. No. You don't score. You don't try and score straight from a corner, lad. That's not how we do it. When I saw that, I was like, bloody hell, we've got one of those. That's pretty good.
Well, the other thing as well is
you've got a guy that technically can go for that, and he can get a goal. Because for me, goals are the biggest commodity.
Yeah, the other thing to that is Douglas Luiz. When he did it the first time, you'd say, "Oh, maybe that was lucky. Maybe he didn't mean to do that." But when you continue to do that and you continue to score that way, that's not luck. That's preparation, and that's practice.
Yeah, I don't hear anyone moaning. Instead, I'm seeing that popping up on Match of the Day as one of the goals of the month. It's a corner. It's a set piece. Until they expand the pitch, right, to the hoardings and take out corner flags, and there's no like perimeter where the ball can go out of play, we'll continue to take corners. If there's a problem with what are you supposed to do with a corner? Kick it out of play. I mean, there were times, right, when we used to take corners and we couldn't even get it to the first man. It would just it was shit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Now
the worst corner is the one that's on the ground and it meets the first defender on the floor. That's the worst corner.
It's not like you're playing FIFA, right? And the ball goes out of play and you're like, oh no, I've got to take a corner. I'm just going to kick it out of play. No, you're doing all the fucking lines and that. You're trying to score it. You're trying to score from it because it's a set piece. It's an opportunity now to get a goal, especially when you might be needing one.
Yeah.
You might be behind or ahead. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're only saying it because they haven't been able to get the resources together to do the same thing.
Yeah, and to finish on what Rio's saying, I know your club isn't built like this, so that's what the rival fans know that their team's nowhere near it.
That's what I just said. Yeah,
you know exactly. They're nowhere near it. That they have no.
Look, surely, right? If you're a Tottenham fan, right, I'd be like, hold on a minute. There's 2 clubs in North London. It's not like we're playing out of a fucking shed. We've got this massive stadium. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of dough coming into the club through fucking 50 Cent concerts and all that, right? And then you're looking at yourself, right, scrabbling around at the bottom of the table, and you're thinking, and everyone's going, oh, what is it that we're doing wrong? Surely you would just go, okay, look, let's look at why don't we look at what they're doing across the road and try and do what they're doing? Because what they're doing seems to be fucking working. Surely you would. I would. I'd be okay. If you're serious, it'd be okay. What are they doing over there?
Yeah. But 22 goals conceded all season. We played 30 games. We conceded 22 games, less than a goal a game.
I think the record is Chelsea with 15.
Yeah. That's just measerly, right? Isn't that what we call it? The next best is Man City at 27. So we're comfortably ahead on that score.
I heard one stat where of all the corners that have been scored in the league, we have 17%. I don't know if that's big, but as far as I'm concerned,
that's pretty good. That's 1 in 6.
I'm happy. I mean, we were talking about Gabriel just a few moments ago, but his biggest attribute for me, it's like you don't expect centre backs to really score goals. He's scoring goals, and I think I was listening to something the other day where there was a season where Steve Bruce, when he played a season for Man United, and he scored 19 goals in all competitions. Yeah, and I'm probably guessing that they weren't, goals where he was like tearing through from the defence into the midfield, going around and volleying it in. I would imagine that he was putting his head on a lot of them, or getting scrappy balls in the area from a free kick or a set piece, a corner, and was in the right place and got them in. 19 goals. But there's also another stat where, if you look back in the day, and you looked at the player with the most passes, players like Fabregas, Cazorla, but you look now, they've done a chart of the players with the most passes, and most of the players were defensive. Lewis Dunk, not all just from Arsenal, but it was mainly because people play out from the back now, right? The goalkeeper used to just hoof the ball up the pitch. Now he passes it out, it gets passed back to him. That's another touch from the goalkeeper. If you add it all up, and if you say, "Oh, Arsenal, the reason," it's not. It's the way that football's played, and it's Pep that brought that in. You look at the chart for the players that have a lot of the touches or the passes. It's more defensive. Where if you went back 15 years ago, it would be more midfielders, right, and attacking players, because the ball would be played back. The goalkeeper would get the ball, and it would be hoofed. It would bypass the defence. Now you've got pull from the goalkeeper to the left back. The left back passes it back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper passes it to the left centre back. The left centre back passes it to the deep mid player, who plays it back to the right centre back, who goes back to the goalkeeper. It's all those touches. It all adds up. But somehow they're trying to pin it on Arsenal. We didn't start that.
No.
Pep started that.
Yeah.
Now everyone wants to play out from the back. And you see so many times when you put your goalkeeper under pressure. Zubimendi the other day, all of a sudden, what's he doing passing it back there? What are you doing? And the guy was in, right? High press, nipped in.
Yeah.
There's an argument that maybe when he released the ball, he shouldn't have been getting it back in the first place, and the ball should have continued to somehow go forward. There's that argument as well.
It was.
I get it, right? I get it. That team's
definitely
playing against Arsenal, but there's no point whining and bitching about it. Find a way to beat it. It's like us crying that everyone plays a low block against us. Why is it when we play teams in the league, they don't play their normal game? Not like when we're in Europe. They always play a low block. Now they're playing a low block. It's up to Arteta to sit down and work a way out to win in that circumstance, right? That's how it is. I don't hear all of the pundits going, why is it when every time a team plays Arsenal, they play a low block? Why are they not being adventurous? No one talks about that. But yet we're the problem, anything we do. And we should embrace it. And as I say, if we weren't a threat, none of these conversations would be happening. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It used to be
there's no such thing as bad publicity. If we weren't a threat to anyone, they'd be talking about someone else. Because we're not Arsenal. Yeah, they play some good matches now and again, and blah blah blah. But they've got the soft underbelly. Well, that used to be. Remember the soft underbelly? They ain't got it. They can't get it. No, it's different. It's different now. It's different now. We've got a very fucking hard underbelly. Look at Nkapia, shushing people.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So you can't have it both ways, you know. And I would think as well, it kind of like that move that Martinelli done. They were saying it could have been a penalty for grabbing the player. The difference is, a couple of seasons ago, we probably would have suffered for that. It would have been a penalty, and maybe it would have like put another edge on the game, and we would have drawn that. But we got away with it this time. That's how it goes. Do you see what I'm getting at? There's times when City won. There were times when City won all their titles where they got away with moves like that as well. They would get away with a move like that. And it weren't we're in that position now. That's where we are. That's that sort of like, it's like luck. I don't know what you call it. It's that little luxury. We're not getting. We're not getting hammered, referee wise and decision wise, for example, than we have in the past. There's been seasons where it's just like you're having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? And you're looking at other teams and thinking, how the fuck? The wheel has turned. If there's some sort of superstition,
it's happening to other teams.
We're getting away with a few things, right?
So what is that? Is that
the other day when in that match, was it against Chelsea where Declan Rice went up and he kind of tried to head the ball in another game? That's a hand. They might give that as a handball penalty. And you're like, fucking hell. We got. Do you know what I'm getting at? There's been a couple of other incidents where we got away with that one.
Has it been psychological on our part, or have we just got away with some of the decisions?
Who knows? But they all seem like the ingredients and things that happen to a team that when they win the league, right? They get the rub of the green.
Rub of the green. Okay.
It just seems to be going. It just seems to be going our way, and now it's at the stage where basically what Fabian Hertzler was doing, he was trying to rally cry to referees. You got to watch Arsenal more closely. That's what he's trying to do.
The way Mikel Arteta handled that, I know we probably watch Harry Symeou a little bit as well, and Harry was of the same ilk. Perfectly handled by Mikel Arteta. Just small phrase like, what do you say? Oh, him again, or something like that. You know what I mean?
He says something like, it doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me. That's it. Yeah. And that's the perfect way to shut down the noisy neighbor. If you have a noisy neighbor sounding off and somebody's telling you about it,
I think he went over the top. Personally, Fabian Hertzler. Well over the top. So much so that if you're like running the club, you'd be saying, listen, do you know what I mean? That's not the kind of marketing.
Maybe he's under pressure, Stan.
That's not the kind of marketing and look that this club was looking for.
Yeah, the stars are aligning.
You went too far there, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not who we are.
Maybe he's under a little bit of pressure. You never know what's going on at Brighton.
That's not going to help, is it?
No.
You'd be like, why are you in HR again? This is the second time in the 1 week you've been in HR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your name.
You again?
Your name is popping up a lot. Yeah,
So,
Formula One this weekend. We'll be watching Formula One as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Um,
excuse me a moment.
sure. Couple of other notes I have here. Listen, the 14th clean sheet from Arsenal. Fantastic. Again, it's the organization at the back. I go back to this all the time. When Mikel Arteta, on the eve of him being appointed by Arsenal, he was with Manchester City. And if you remember the game, we were beaten 3-0 and we were listless. We were horrible. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta was watching uh, from the Manchester City coaching staff on the bench there. And I'm sure he was saying to himself, never again. This Arsenal, I will fix them, but I will build them from the back up. And that's what we did. We started to acquire goalkeepers and defenders. You know, there was windows. Rio Ferdinand mentioned, you know, you have to do this window upon window, season upon season, and that's the last I'll probably say of Rio Ferdinand in this podcast. But you build a
It's a good
team.
piece, though. It's a very good
What?
piece. I think it's a very good piece.
Yeah,
And you know, the way
build a team.
he's explained it is, I can't agree with him more. That's just, you know,
Yeah,
and it surprises me, because you would think that, you know, with that rivalry with Man United, that maybe he was very honest. I thought he
yeah,
kind of took himself away from being a supporter or player of Man United and just said, look, I quite surprised, because maybe a lot of other players who had played for Man United, or maybe Liverpool, probably wouldn't have been that candid.
Roy Keane.
No, I think Roy Keane is someone that's a little bit more honest, but maybe a Gary Neville wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to.
Well, the thing
You know?
about Roy Keane is that he had really high standards. He was one of the best players in the world, and he couldn't abide by decent players or great players. They had to be the top notch, the best standards. And
Have you not, when it comes to the pundits, have you not seen this season how what they've done is, right? And they've done it a bit last season as well. They say Arsenal had the best team in the league. Arsenal are going to win the league.
yeah,
Anytime there's a slip up, a slight slip up, or what I'm saying is, anytime we don't get all of the points,
yeah,
or there's a little blip, they're very quick. So rather than continue to back what they say, they're very quick to go, oh, you know, Man City or whatever it is, bottling. They don't go, no. Do you know what I'm getting at? They're edging their bets. And so what's going to happen is, now what they're doing is they're laying the groundwork, because they're thinking, okay, Arsenal may have one hand on this already, may have one hand. I'm not being like cocky or whatever, but they're laying the groundwork to say, like, they're even saying it, if we win the league, there's still 8 games to go. If we win the league, it's going to be the most boring team to have won the league, or functional, or however. They're already trying to tarnish it.
yeah.
They're already trying. They're not saying, fucking hell, if Arsenal win the league, this is the first time that they've won it in over 20 years. Look how long it's taken them, the different changes they've made, the work they've had to. No, this is going to be, oh, fucking hell. We'd rather, what you would rather go back to a team winning it that has allegedly still got these court decisions with up to 130 charges. Is that what you want? Are we that bad? Really? Are we that bad? Fucking hell. We're doing it the right way. Apparently, there was a story in the Express that in order for us to balance our books next season, transfer and all that, a first team player would need to be sold. And so they were discussing it, and they threw a few names out there. You know, Ben White is one, maybe Martinelli, Trossard, a few other names. But I think for me, if that is the case, I think it's going to be Lewis Skelly, right? Because he's been really utilised as the left back, and I think Calafiori seems to be one of the preferred choices. And now Hencape looks like, you know, he's fine. You know, two really good choices there. And obviously, as well, with someone like Miles Lewis Skelly, that's just pure profit, which must be good for the books. You know, we didn't cost us anything. We didn't transfer him in from anywhere. You know, which then allows us to continue buying and doing something else. But they're saying that maybe there is someone that needs to go from the squad. It might be a requirement.
Yeah, I think
that one makes the most sense, doesn't it?
Andrea Berta. I think Andrea Berta has got to. He's done really well to assemble what many pundits say we have two squads now, which is quite fair. You know, we have two squads. We have two teams that could do quite well in the Premier League. The next part of his job will be to, now that we are a fully functioning Premier League outfit and, you know, squad equipped to win the Premier League.
I mean, yeah, against Chelsea, it was quite interesting to see Norgard come on, right?
Norgard, yeah. This is the thing. I mean, there had been some clamour from us fans. But
the circumstances, right? Because it was, I think Declan Rice was having problems, and Declan Rice actually said to the bench, "I need to come off."
Yep.
It wasn't the bench going, "We're doing this change." It was on advice of the player, right? So that's what happened there.
You know, you're going to go for a potential quadruple. You don't need to banjax your £105 million player, your most expensive transfer.
Yeah, I'd like to think that they would make that decision. Do you know what I mean? They must just, know. Okay.
Well, the player knows as well. I mean, the player knows his body at the time as well. They said it about the Liverpool part season. Words don't mean anything and don't stick. They said it about Liverpool last season. Words don't mean anything and don't stick.
Yeah.
Right?
I can remember saying at the end of the last season or getting towards the end of it where, and I wasn't just saying it because it wasn't us. I was saying, like, there were so many times that last season where a game would finish and you'd be watching, not always live, I live in Canada, but watching Match of the Day in the commentary, and you'd watch a Liverpool game last season and you'd come away thinking, like, fucking hell, they look really, oof. Who's gonna mess with them? You weren't coming away like that. I was always coming away a lot of times thinking, like, how did they come away with all of the points in that one? How?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. How long can that last? That's how I was thinking about it, right? I wasn't sitting there going like, wow, man, we got a lot of work to do to catch these guys. Listen, look at this. It was more like I was completely like, again? They've done it again. How the fuck did they come out of that with all of? Do you know what I'm getting at? And maybe that's what we're doing now. They lifted the trophy.
Yeah, this is it. I mean,
they lifted the trophy.
When we win,
it's the equivalent. City, it's kind of like an equivalent of that, right? Klopp found a way.
Yeah, when we win, City drew last week. Aston Villa were beaten by Chelsea, So it was a very, very good night for Arsenal. Wolverhampton Wanderers beat Liverpool. That was, Wolves are playing well right now. Tiger and Gunnar just won. There is a preseason game in Dublin that could be interesting as well for me. The only person I give him the respect to listen to his opinions is Ruud Gullit. He said some pretty accurate and harsh things. So yeah,
how many times did his team win when he was managing? What were they like? How did they play?
Don't know.
He wasn't no superstar as a manager.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not. It's just his opinion.
Yeah. So Arsenal beat Brighton 1-0 with a ricochet.
I mean, what is it people want? Do they want us to play 4-4-2, right? A flat midfield just to please them, and then we finish second so they can call us bottlers.
Yeah.
What is it that people fucking want? We tried fucking playing nice football. I said it before. We tried playing nice football. Wenger used to try and play 3 number 10s in the team, playing number 10s on the wing, right? Because
I think we have to.
It didn't work. We didn't win nothing for 10 years, right? We've tried that. We've tried that. Right now, we are 7 points ahead in the league.
It took. I firmly believe that we handed the title to Liverpool last season. we had injuries, but we could have gone and bought some players and been competitive. Liverpool only won.
We've gone and done that now, which is good. They've not gone,
Yeah.
oh yeah, whatever. They thought, you know what? They've done what you just did. They identified that and have gone, we really fucking dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
And they weren't out, didn't they?
Yeah, they went out and they did well in the summer. Liverpool have won two.
We applauded them. Do you remember everyone applauded Arsenal, and as soon as Liverpool bought Wirtz and Isak, it was like, oh, slam dunk. That's killed the market, man. It's like, where are we now?
Yeah.
Where are we right now? It's funny how things work out. Now everyone's like, Arsenal got the best squad in the league. Like, you weren't saying that when they bought Isak.
The important thing to remember as well, Stan, I mean, this has been a steady build for 5, 6 seasons. And Mikel Arteta has been criticized for that. But when you look at the bigger picture, Manchester City won something like 6 of the last 8 Premier League titles. Liverpool won that one, were gifted that one last season pretty much. And Jurgen Klopp had to go great guns just to win one title over this City team. So the Premier League is not easy to win.
No. And Mikel Arteta has evolved, I think, as a manager in the approach, in the sort of, I can remember a couple of seasons ago where we only had like 25 players, and he was talking about having a small squad and being happy with a small squad. And I was thinking, like, what? And then you'd see the injuries, and you'd be like, this is the reason why. This is the reason why you can't have a squad that small, especially with the way that Arsenal have injuries, and we would suffer. We're coming in for the running of the fucking league. Excuse my language, sorry. I'm sorry to too much there. There's kids listening.
Freudian slip.
And we're just running in, and Gabriel has to go out. And we haven't got anyone to come in that's good enough. We haven't got a Hencape. We haven't got a Calafiori. Things like that. We weren't set up for that. But we've done that now. We've looked at that and thought, that's what cost us. We need to address that.
We had to go through the
and obviously as well, Saka was being run into the ground.
Yeah, and we had to go the
3-0 up. Why is he still on? It's still on. But now you've seen the manager trust Madueke, like him or love him, but it does mean that if the manager feels that Saka needs to have come out running in, he's got someone that he can think, I don't mind putting in that guy. Rather than thinking, Saka's burnt out, looking at the bench and thinking, I don't fancy any of them. Sorry, Saka, you got to stay on, mate, because I don't trust any of them. We're in a different place now. Whether you like the player that's coming on or not, you see what I'm getting at. The change is a change.
Yeah, BX has hit on in here a little bit. And I think what you have to do as a manager, you have to get yourself into a position to win and then start using some of your squad to help with the lethargy in the legs, the tiredness in the legs, because now we're still in 4 competitions, and we're going to get into a hell of a 3-month spell here where games are going to come every 3 days. So BX said Arteta's left it late, but finally starting to rotate, and that's it's Norgard. It's Norgard, it's Cappy, it's Ben White, it's some other players.
But you've got to think, right? Your next game is against
Mansfield, yeah.
And Mansfield. And I'm not saying no disrespect to them, but we're a team that our next game is against Mansfield. We're also trying to win the Premier League. We're also got a game coming up in Europe, which is important. We're doing well in the Carabao Cup. We're in a final. We should be able to look at Mansfield and go, okay, I don't need to have Rice or Zubimendi starting this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do that. I should have enough. Maybe I can have them as a reinforcement. Hopefully we won't even need to go there. But surely there's something that I can do, which means, for example, those 2 players, they don't have to play.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe you have a form. Maybe you do as well, where you think, I don't want to pick Timber for this one. I want to give Timber a rest. I want to give Timber a breather as well. Maybe you take Saka as well. There's things that you can do. Maybe you don't play Gyökeres and start him in this one. Maybe you start Havertz.
Yeah.
You start Havertz.
There's a team. There's a team you can play. It's a Mascara.
You got Havertz, and you know that you got Jesus there as well. He's ready. You know, you can do something different to just, you know, because we've been talking about players looking a bit leggy or whatever. Surely, because it's Mansfield, we can surely take that gamble. Because the next game in the league, the next game in the league
Everton.
is where it's going to count.
Everton at home. Yeah.
So these are the sort of players that I want to be seeing. Like Ben White, if he's alive, put him in.
Let's jump in. We all know the players who could potentially play, right? I know you hate to do this predictions thing, but go with me here, okay? Let's go through the eight ties for the FA Cup and find out who the 7 will be that goes into the pot, probably with Arsenal. Let's face it, we've got the plum draw. We're away to Mansfield Town, and we should win, right? We're going to put Arsenal forward.
What division is Mansfield Town in?
Oh,
I don't know.
Nigel Clough, but I know now Nigel Clough.
That's right, Nigel Clough, correct, yes. Are they a non-league team?
Yeah, they're pretty much down there. I mean, I can check here. But
yeah, I'd like to have an idea of how many divisions down, because obviously they're playing their best players, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, their best players have won the opportunity for a glamour day out to rub shoulders with.
We shouldn't have to, right? That's what I'm saying. We shouldn't have to.
Yeah, we should.
Football
League One. So they're in League One.
So the league, but are under the Championship.
Yeah.
2 divisions down.
2 levels down. Yeah.
Okay.
2 levels down, and they are 16th out of 24. Mid-table.
So to go out to that would be an embarrassment. That would be a big talking point.
Well,
that would be.
Yeah.
Irrespective of David Raz and or Kepa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at? Irrespective of who we don't. I mean, even if we start with that Declan Rice and have Norgard, to lose to Mansfield.
That would be professional.
To lose to Mansfield, no disrespect to them, maybe they could outplay us on the day, whatever, but to lose to them, that's a big deal.
It would be professional. Arsenal will have to go through to the last 8 of the FA Cup. All right, let's get into the other ties. Wolverhampton Wanderers at home to Liverpool. This is an FA Cup tie tomorrow. And Wolverhampton Wanderers just beat Liverpool 2 days ago.
You're feeling good, aren't you?
Easy.
It's an easy team talk, isn't it? It's an easy team talk. It's like, there you go, lads. I mean, it's an easy team talk, man. Surely if you're one of the players and that, and you want to have another. I want to do that again. That was great.
I'd like to do a draw with you a little bit later for the quarterfinals. So we'll keep Wolves and Liverpool still in there, right? We could say, because I can't really separate them now.
Again, it's always that thing with it's not a 2-legged affair, is it? It's a knockout.
It's a one-off, yeah.
You play that game and you have the game of your life, and look at Liverpool have been so shaky. Liverpool have had a lot of off days.
Yeah.
So Wolves know that they're playing a team that usually this team doesn't really have an off day, but if now is the time to beat them, it's now. And as you just said, they've recently just done that.
Yeah. I'm going to assign random numbers.
Liverpool are thinking to themselves, "Fuck, we should never have lost to Wolves. Oh no, we've got to play them again." And they've got that. If we lose this again, it's this. You know what I mean? They're double thinking it. They're double thinking it.
I'm going to assign random numbers to these, so I'm going to ask you for numbers later to draw at a quarterfinal ties for the FA Cup. Just a little bit of fun. Okay, next one. Ryan Reynolds, Wrexham. And Rob McElhenney's Wrexham versus Chelsea. This is the draw that they've been looking for. The Wrexham owners have been looking for a Premier League tie. What do you take? Chelsea have been good. They beat Aston Villa easily.
Well, the only team that since they've had the new manager in, if you want to look at how they've been playing since they've got in Liam Rossini, the only team that they've struggled against is Arsenal 3 times.
Yeah, it was Arsenal.
They've been able to, give a good account of themselves everywhere else, right? Not against us.
That's
So
mad. Yeah.
you know,
We'll put,
you'd kind of think that with the resources that they have compared to
Chelsea.
Wrexham, they should be able to get something out of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you just got to look at the quality difference.
Yeah. Newcastle at home to City. I feel like Newcastle, because the way their season have been going, has been
Jekyll and
going,
Hyde.
they've turned into a little bit of a cup team right now.
You're a Jekyll and a
But
Hyde team
yeah,
this season.
Jekyll
It's
and Hyde.
like every time you play them, like which team's turning up? Is it Jekyll or Hyde? You know, you don't. They're like that. They have some games where they should win and they have stinkers, and then in the next game, if they can go a couple of games playing stinkers, and then in the next game you're thinking, oh, you know, I don't fancy this one. They win.
Tell you what, though, Stan.
I think they're a
talked
hard
about-
team. They're a hard team to. They'd be a hard team to bet on, right? If you was in, because there's no form with this team.
Yeah.
They're all over the
Uh,
place.
Man City.
They could very well win that, or
Well,
they
they
could,
could,
they could end up getting slapped. It's really with Newcastle.
They
Do
could,
you
but
know-
Man City coming off this draw in the league will make them
And-
doubly. This will make them double down on the FA Cup. Man
Well,
City.
but they're playing a Premier League team. It's not like they're playing a Mansfield.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at?
They're playing
And as
Newcastle
you've seen,
up there.
Man City this season have looked more capable than I can remember at getting bad results.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not-
been played in Molyneux.
There was a
Like,
time when
Molyneux.
Manchester City used to be. You look at them and think they're a foregone conclusion. That veneer is gone.
Yeah.
Newcastle are quite capable of putting them out 2-1, for example.
All
You know
right.
what I'm getting at? Haaland gets his goal, but that's it. Do you know what I mean?
Are you
Newcastle
saying
get two.
this
Newcastle
could be the
get two.
beginning? So you're putting Newcastle through? You think?
I'm just saying it's possible, right? You could have a 2-1 score. Haaland scores. It's Haaland. But as a team, it's not enough. Newcastle get 2 goals. It could be. That's what I'm saying. It's very possible.
Okay.
But it's quite
Um,
easy to be 4. But it could also be 3-1 to it could be the other way around.
Yeah.
Because both of these teams this season have shown that they're very capable of dropping points. Where, you know, it's very hard to bet. They're very hard to bet with. All those people that betted Man City to beat Nottingham Forest, they didn't get their money back because it was a draw.
Yeah, BX, we're
Yeah,
finally
yeah.
caught up with football's elite. We just need the trophies. That's why you need to enjoy the
Right,
journey right now. We just need the trophies. That's why I'm telling you. I know there's different kind of Arsenal fans out there, and those who are being cautious and not wanting to celebrate anything until the deal is done, until the trophy's in the cabinet. But for me, I'm going to enjoy the journey. We have 8 games left in the Premier League. We have 1 game left in the Carabao Cup. We have potential 4 games to win an FA Cup left. And we have 7 games in the Champions League. Champions League is a monster. You got 2-legged affairs through the last 16, through the quarterfinal, through the semi-final, and then you have a final. I think it's in Prague. I'm not sure where the final is. It's in Hungary, I think, actually, because I know Ireland beat Hungary in the qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, and they said the Champions League was going to be in that stadium. I think that's true. Next one, and Stan will be coming back. Fulham at home to Southampton. I think that Fulham will have enough there to beat Southampton. You agree? Fulham versus Southampton?
Fulham versus Southampton.
Yeah.
Well, you'd like to think. Fulham have been playing some good football recently.
It's another one of those.
Have you seen Iwobi and Smith Rowe?
Fulham's been good.
They're making very good contributions at Fulham. I was
So
watching
we've
Iwobi scored a really good goal the other day. He's really getting involved, assists.
we've gone through, Stan. We've gone through the first 4, and the bigger teams are in there: Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, City. Now we've got a real chance in the bottom half of this draw for lower reaches of the Premier League. Maybe a good championship team could push. What do you call a cup run? Go on a cup run. And Fulham and Southampton definitely will have a chance to do that. I think Fulham will be good enough to go through there.
If we don't get a result against a team like Mansfield, right? You know what I was saying? That you've got all of these people that like Arsenal are going to win. Arsenal, they're on for the quad. People that usually they're edging their bets. People that they're saying it for gritted teeth. But if there's one stumble, they're the first ones to come picking up the carcass. They're the first ones to come nibbling. Do you know what I'm getting at? They're never back in.
You so. Yeah.
So
the Money gets.
We have to understand, right, that people outside of Arsenal, people don't like Arsenal. They don't.
Yeah.
They're jealous, right? There's a lot of people within Arsenal that don't seem to like Arsenal sometimes, because we're at, we are where we are in 4 competitions, and there are a lot of complaints sometimes, and it's weird, isn't it? It's like usually when you see a team winning the league, there's usually that one player who's like doing, like if it's Liverpool, it's Salah.
Doing bits.
You know what I'm getting at? If it's Man City, it's Haaland. But if you look at Arsenal, we're 7 points ahead. We haven't got that focal point where it's like that guy. It's that guy, man. That guy's always got to be in the lineup. We don't have that. Right?
Saka.
Yeah, but look at his numbers this season.
I know.
Did you know what I'm getting at? We haven't got one.
Yeah.
There's no one this season who's like, he's our highest paid player and the academy lad, but he's not doing. He's not. It's not like we're 7 points ahead and fucking hell, Salah. Saka. He's got like fucking 17 goals and you know what I'm getting at. We are where we are, but we still haven't got that thing. That usually when a team, and I think that's what a lot of the pundits and the outsiders, they can't get their head around that. It's like, how is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they fucking spent all that money on Gyökeres, and people spent most of the season saying he's shit. So it's not him. Havertz has been out. He's only coming back in, and he's not scored a bundle yet since he's been back. Gabriel scored a couple. He's not consistent. That's why they were. How is this happening? I think people can't get their head around it. How is this happening?
I'll have to look and see who that's going to go.
Without having this marquee player, this one person who's making it all happen, because we don't do that. It's a team effort. How many games has our captain been out this season? How many games was he out at the beginning of the season? We're still managing to get where we are, and we've had. I'm saying it. I'm not picking on him. I'm saying a key player. How many times have we had key players out this season? Saka's was out for a while. Odegaard's been out for a while. Havertz was out, but Havertz was only really coming back into the team. We didn't get Gabriel Jesus. Wasn't there at the beginning of the season. Gyökeres was having a nightmare, yet somehow, here we are 7 points ahead. It's not like, man, we've got that Cristiano Ronaldo person, that guy. Every week that guy, we don't seem to have that, and I think that's what they're pissed off about. That they can't see how is this happening. How are they still maintaining this?
Yeah, and probably these are people who don't watch Arsenal every week as well. They don't see that the goals are spread.
And we're getting a lot of these things, the own goals, the corners.
Yep.
This is all that. It's like you're forced. Because the own goals, as I say, it's not like the own goals are like the opposition are getting the ball, turning around and taking a shot at their own goal. They're going up to try and defend the corner usually. And we're doing our thing. And even if we can't score from a corner, we're forcing them to make errors. And I'm like, and that's a problem. There's nowhere in the rule book which says that an own goal shouldn't be counted. So until that's no longer in the game, what are you crying about?
Yeah.
If you could do the same, you would, wouldn't you? Of course you would.
The one thing that when you look at it back, like Eze would be one player. He scored actually 6 goals in the Premier League as well. 5 of them against Tottenham, and he got a goal against Crystal Palace as well. Crucial goals, mind you, as his goals have been.
He's beginning to get a lot of game time. Let's see what happens, right? The manager said there was a chat. He's
Yep.
starting game because he went for a patch where he wasn't. He's playing in a more favoured position. Let's see where it leads.
BX said,
I don't know, Martin Odegaard hasn't been looking like he's available. Another reason. What's happening there? Is it a knee problem again or something?
BX said, only trophies right now give us the credibility to back this whole thing up. And this is where this has to be the time. We're here now in the last 3 months of the season where trophies have to be on the tips of our tongues now. We must capitalize, BX said. Liverpool stood out against City because they took trophies away from them. Now we must do the same to both.
I'm telling you now, right? That League Cup final against Man City is not far away. That has to be the launch pad. I really think that if we listen, how many times have people said Mikel Arteta can't get us to a final? He can't get us to a final. We have to capitalise on that now against the team that's been like the Charlie Big Bollocks for so long. It would be such a statement win. They're not going to put a youth academy out. They're going out there to win that, and so must we. I'm telling you now, right? If we don't win that, it's going to worry me. It's going to really, really worry me going forward.
No,
win that, and the floodgates could open.
It's the most immediate. It's the most immediate. It's the most immediate piece of silverware that we
need to continue to. They're not having their best season. They're giving points away.
Put in the cabinet
as well. Any encouragement, we could really put a nail in the coffin.
Saka slowly,
and then the players have a taste of lifting legitimate silverware.
Odegaard being out is a blessing in disguise.
It lays rest to that. Oh, when Arteta won the FA Cup, he done it with someone else's team. Yeah. Really, we could lay that on, which is a crap. What? So Slot didn't. Slot won the league with Slot's team.
Yeah, exactly.
No one said nothing about that. Do you know what I mean? They want to bitch at Arsenal winning the FA Cup with it. And then you have to remember the players that he took over, there was a lot of disgruntlement going on in the squad. It was uneven. And he still managed to squeeze the juice out of them to get them over the line to win that trophy. And then what did he do? As soon as he got them over the line, he dismantled it because that's what had to be done. Fair play.
Yeah. Yeah. If Odegaard departs, Saka will be the main captain under Arteta. Odegaard's injured. Definitely getting less time on the field. Saka's deliveries should get credit for the own goal.
That's the pecking order, isn't it? It's Odegaard, Saka, Megalegs. No, Megalegs is before Rice. I've noticed he's down in the pecking order. A lot of people talk about how Declan Rice should be the captain. The captain is Odegaard. If he's not available, it's Saka. And if Saka goes off for whatever reason, if he's got the armband and Rice and Megalegs are on the pitch, it goes to Megalegs. Which shows you
you can't argue with that. Can't argue with that either, right?
No, but that's you can see that's the manager's thinking, right?
Yeah, winning the final against the spineless sack shit Silva would be fantastic. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Bernardo Silva. He's a moany git. He's always in the referee's ear. You ever watch him? He's always in the referee's ear complaining about something. But when he fouls or whatever, it's okay, So, obviously. Leeds United versus Norwich City. There's 2 more ties to go. Leeds United versus Norwich City.
Well, you have to think that maybe a team like Leeds, again, they're a team that wants to make sure that what's more to them? Staying in the Premier League.
Right, but this is a nice distraction, right?
But depending on fixtures, maybe they'll give an opportunity to some of their up-and-comers. Maybe they won't field. Maybe they'll feel that there's players that need to have
Premier League's more important, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? Financially. So, I don't know nothing about their squad, but, depending on where they are, you might think, okay, you got to give some of these guys minutes anyway. Maybe this is the time, right?
And that's the sad part, Stan, that, the financial
you have some of those main guys on the bench, and if it's not working, you can change it around, right? But, Leeds have bigger fish to fry, I would imagine.
That's the sad part because the financial aspects of the Champions League and the Premier League may devalue the FA Cup to that extent. You know what I mean? Uh, the clubs only look at it as
Yeah, but we're
revenue.
not going to play. We're not hopefully going to play our first starting 11 either. But it's for a
No.
different reason. Leeds aren't going to play their first. You think,
And
depending on because of the league, the financial.
right.
Arsenal aren't
think-
going to play their first 11 because they we're in the driving seat in the Premier League, and if
And
there's
if
a
you
player that's
think-
breathing out of his arse, maybe I can give him. Do you see what I'm getting at? Different needs. Different needs, man.
If you think that Tottenham are in trouble, well, Leeds are just 2 points better off than Tottenham in the Premier League. So
There you go.
that is something to be worried about. They may get dragged into a relegation fight, and they will play Crystal Palace after a week after this game on Sunday. So they go to Selhurst Park, and that's not going to be easy for Leeds United. But I would put them through against Norwich City. And then the last one would be...
I would just say as well, I have seen Leeds play some good football this season.
Yes,
they can play.
They can trouble teams.
Yeah.
They can trouble teams. West Ham versus Brentford.
Ooh.
Yes. Nice tie. That's a nice one at the London Stadium.
The thing is with West Ham, they've had they went for a period of time where they looked really in danger. But again, they've had some games where I keep, for example, I've watched a lot of the match of the day and that. Somerville seems to be getting in a lot of the action. For West Ham scores a lot of goals, always seems to be in the action, and they seem to have had some sort of a turnaround. And I could probably see them, when they need to get a win in the league, they'll get a win in the cup instead.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stan, they've lost one.
They're in a similar situation, right? West Ham, they've been in the Premier League a long time, and they're in a relegation battle as well, right?
They have only lost one of their last 5. They've won 2.
But where are they in the league?
Huh?
Where are they in the league?
They're 18th.
So again, they also have to make sure that, depending on their squad size, what's more important to them? Maintaining Premier League status.
Yeah.
Depends on the fixtures, right? It depends on the fixtures. It depends on where you are,
I would think Brentford would have enough to get past them, right? All right, so I'm going to jump ahead here. I'm going to ask for numbers between 1 and 8 from you. Pick a random number between 1 and 8. We'll do it.
7.
Final draw. 7. We're going to call that Newcastle or City. You know the way they used to do it. They used to do it before the replays, Stan.
Who do you think will win that?
I think City will get through, but you think Newcastle?
All
right, that's number 7. Pick another number. Pick another number.
I didn't say my thing though.
Huh?
Was I supposed to give you a result? I didn't give you one. Okay, pick another number.
No,
3.
we left that one as either or.
Okay,
Newcastle 3. Or City. 3 plays Brentford. They play Brentford.
Who?
That's Brentford.
Playing who?
Newcastle or City.
Oh, again, if they play Newcastle, they could get a result.
Yeah.
But then again, though, I mean, they could get a result against fucking City. City have been losing points where you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, this is just a mock draw. It's a mock draw.
But I would say I like Brentford. They're quite plucky.
Yeah, I did too. They got the second highest goal scorer. All right, pick another number.
I'll tell you another reason as well, because they're not a team that they know that they're going to be in the Premier League, so they can think to themselves, okay, we could also try and get a cup. Meaning, whereas I said about some of those other teams where they're like, well, they've got other things to look at. They might not play full squads. This is a team that they know that they're not going to be fighting to get relegated at least. And the manager could be like, okay, let's try and maybe we could get a cup run. Who knows?
Yeah, and Keith Andrews has done a good job.
You're more inclined to play a better squad because you want to win that shit.
Yeah.
This isn't
Keith
in your
Andrews,
way. This isn't in your way. This is a bonus. This is a proper bonus, right?
They're already formidable. Brentford
Yeah.
are a decent team already.
I would favour Brentford, to be honest.
The X said Coventry's coming up. They must be leading by a long way in the championship. All right, give me another number.
Another number, 8.
8. Okay. Sunderland.
What about them?
Well, this is the draw. You have to pick numbers out of the hat.
Okay, we're going to see who they play. I'll give another
pick
number.
Pick another number, Rio. You're Rio Ferdinand right now. You're picking numbers out. 1.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Chelsea beat Sunderland.
Sunderland versus Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Right? Yeah. That's not bad. That's a good draw for Chelsea.
Because, maybe Sunderland could, in a league, could get a draw, but in a cup situation, I think Chelsea.
Right, so you got 2, 4, 5, or 6 for your next
4.
number. All right, 4 is Fulham.
6
versus Leeds. Leeds. This is the FA Cup mock draw. Fulham versus Leeds. Yeah, and then that leaves
for the same reason, because I think Fulham are like, we're not in that relegation area. This could be a bonus. Let's see what I can do. Whereas Leeds, they're like, we need to stay in this league. And the last thing I want to do is burn anybody out. They're not ready for that next league game. This is the bigger picture. We're not quite safe yet.
Yeah. Are you putting? You think Fulham could beat Leeds?
Yeah.
All right. And then there's 2 numbers left. It's this will determine who's the home team, right? 5 or 2.
2.
2. That's Arsenal. So we get a home. We get a home draw.
He's 5 then.
We're playing Wolves or Liverpool.
Bloody hell.
In the mock draw.
That's diverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's diverse. So, I think that we can beat Wolves. Because we have.
We could be. Especially playing at home, I think we could beat. Liverpool could be a dangerous. Liverpool could be a dangerous team in the FA Cup.
Was it near the first game of the season where it's that one free kick thing that something like that happens, right, with Liverpool?
Yeah, Zabazai. Yeah. So that would be an interesting.
We can also do that as well, but what I'm saying is you don't see Wolves doing that, but Liverpool. It doesn't matter how well you do, how well the plan is. They've also got players which, on their day, can make something happen. That's always dangerous. Especially when it's a cup game, right? It's not like it's a league game. You know that you perform, you do it in this one, you go on. Do you know what I mean? It's a knockout. It adds a different dimension, right? So yeah. Liverpool.
So the bigger boys could get through in the FA Cup. It increases the likelihood that Arsenal will be facing a City, a Liverpool, or a Chelsea again in the FA Cup.
Because Liverpool still look like they want to play for Arne Slot.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be working. And Ekitike wants to score goals.
Ekitike has been a good acquisition for them.
He wants to score goals.
The Truex has joined the podcast. Okay. We need some kind of music for the entrance.
Hey, pal.
All right, pal.
I'll be right back. Yeah.
All right, so Alonso, I don't know if you were listening in. We just did the mock FA Cup draw. A mock FA Cup draw. Can you hear me? All right, pal.
Yeah. Which made no sense.
No, it made no sense. But
it wasn't our finest moment, Alonso.
No, it wasn't our finest moment because, But
I'm assuming this draw worked in Arsenal's favor.
It was what, a draw in Arsenal's favour.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you get Mansfield Town in the last 16 of the FA Cup, um, rival fans. We're just pissing rival fans off left, right, and centre here. We're playing really well. We're winning the Premier League. We're 7 points clear of City. We're getting the greatest draws in the FA Cup and the Champions League ever. you know,
And we're in the League Cup final.
and we're in the League Cup final. They're just not. There are people out there just not happy, Alonso. Their
Yeah.
world has been ruined by Arsenal.
I mean, it's funny because we pissed off Chelsea's coach, and then we pissed off Brighton's coach because we played football, right?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Alonso always comes in late, like he's been back in the mill somewhere. I mean, it's like Ted at the store. You were at the store, weren't you?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He's VX gutter.
But I mean,
Alonso's put in a shift, man.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Alonso.
But yeah, I mean, I'm off Saturday, so
Freezer section. He knows it.
he knows
He can
it.
show them. He shows them where the condiments are.
And the melons. So I'm off Saturday, so I'll be watching the match and hopefully watch England beat France.
I hope so too. From Ireland's point of view, I hope so too. We have a championship to win, and if England can help us, that'd be great. But I haven't seen a lot of the games, but I understand that France are pretty good. You know what I mean? Will not be easy. England are a mess right now. I'm sorry.
They don't have any. The wing backs are all messed up. The full backs.
And no, don't get me wrong. Ireland probably have a difficult game with Wales as well tomorrow on Friday.
I mean, Italy beat Scotland.
England, who beat Scotland?
Italy.
Yeah, Italy beat Scotland. So there's a lot of parity in the Six Nations as well, just like in the Premier League. Thoughts, Alonso? Your thoughts on the games in the last 7 days? I going back to City, they struggled with Leeds, win 1-0 under Semenyo, and think, hold on, Arsenal's got a tough game against Chelsea. We take care of Chelsea.
Good game.
It was a good game, right?
Beat Chelsea, man.
Did you feel like we lost? We did lose control in the last 10, 15 minutes of that game, and we just basically we were just able to see it out.
Exactly. Maybe there was a time when we wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah,
but we did. Right?
It wasn't pretty again, but we got the 3 points.
When you look back in the history books, right? Let's say we win it, and you're looking back. You don't go to that match and it says the score, and then in brackets it's going to say wasn't pretty. It doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't say it.
It doesn't. It just says the score. It just says win.
BX said this league isn't over.
It doesn't say like brackets win. It doesn't say ugly win. It doesn't
Yeah. And then
toss. It just says
you go to this midweek again, Stan, and you think Man City have some people will preempt and go, well, okay, they've got an easy game against Forest. That's 3 points for them, Meanwhile, Arsenal have to go to Brighton, and Brighton are pretty tough at home. Arsenal might struggle, but then you say, well, if we can get through this, I think it's.
And I was nervous because for me, that game with Brighton was on lunchtime again in the afternoon here in Vancouver while I'm at work, and had a window open, not with the match on. It just has like the score, and the minutes, whatever. And we scored the goal. There was quite a lot of the game to go, and I was doing other things. And every time I kept flicking back to check, I was just thinking, please don't say 1-1.
Yeah, don't have that score
flash
up 1-1.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
please don't say 1-1. And when I finally went back, and it was the game finished and it was 1-0, I was just like, that's 3 points, man. That's another 3 points, and that's all you can wish for. Do you know what I mean?
Meanwhile, did you check the City result as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like, I checked the City result and I was just like, brilliant.
That was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. You've done your job.
Yeah. Look, listen, we've talked about City, and I think they've done well to put a few games together and put some pressure on us, but this is not the City that we had 2 or 3 seasons ago.
And again, just saying about Tottenham, when I was listening to, if you haven't heard, if you listen to Talk Sport Drive, right, with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara, who both have played for Tottenham, but Jason Cundy is more Chelsea because he played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
It was. I was on the way home listening to it on my headphones because that's usually my time. For about 2:30 my time, 3 o'clock. It's on my way traveling home. Oh my God! What a meltdown, Jamie O'Hara. He really can give it out, right? He does. He can really give it out, but he can't take it.
Yeah.
He was really getting into it with some of the fans that were calling in that were Tottenham support. Yeah, he got really quite good. He got really heated. It's good, it's good viewership, right? I'm pretty sure that he had someone in their earplug saying like, "No, easy. Do you know what I mean?" Got very, 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 very fiery. But good. This now takes the heat off us. Everyone's talking about how Arsenal play this. Now everyone's got. This is the new thing. This is the new thing for the jackals to start fucking nibbling at the carcass. It's Tottenham. So on all the back pages in England, it's all about Tottenham. So it's good. It takes the heat off of us.
They could fire him, right?
Just when we're pushing for our title, we're literally getting helped out by the shambles that is our rivals. Take the heat off of us. Brilliant. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what I think is? Do you know what? The best piece of business that we ever did was sending Vinay Venkatesan to Tottenham. Agent Vinny. Adrian Vinny must be bringing it down from the inside. Now I'm thinking that's why you went there. Okay.
That's great. And you got Edu at Nottingham Forest. That's crazy as well when you think about both of them are in relegation.
Tottenham in the relegation thing. Like it's like here's another thing as well. Remember we were talking about like how do you succeed, and you're like, if you're a team in North London and you're looking at the other team and you're thinking like, how can we be successful as them? Maybe we should do what they're doing. Why would you think, okay, they're getting rid of this one guy, right, who was on their executive board. They want to do better. They're getting rid of him. Why don't we go and get him? If he wasn't good enough for them, he shouldn't be good enough for you, right? So why would you get Vinay? You'll be thinking, they're our rivals and they're striving to do better. They see this guy as a dead weight. Why don't we get him? Why?
Shouldn't be.
Why? What did he do for them? Do you know what I'm getting at? That's just ridiculous. That's just like, it's quite flattering in a way for us. It's quite flattering. They think that was the missing link. If he was the missing link, he'd still be at Arsenal, you fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? He'd still be at Arsenal if he was like, if he was the one. But okay, fine. And did you see as well on the overlaps, they had Ange Postecoglou on there. He slated Tottenham about their ambition, and he really. And when I mean slated, he was just quite honest. They were asking him, and it was quite
two-footed.
Quite two-footed.
Right. So today it was funny thinking about how my friends of mine, they're sushi guys at my store, and one was a Chelsea fan, the other one's Liverpool fan, the other two are Real Madrid fans. So we always, mess around and joke with each other about how we're doing in Liverpool and Chelsea. And we were talking about Tottenham. right? How they're almost relegated if everything works out the way it's supposed to. And how funny will it be if we win the league and they get sent down? it's like it's like almost as if it was meant to be, you know.
Big class.
Seeing our good rival go get sent down
Poetic.
and regular rival win the league in the same year. I mean, it's almost unheard of, right? I mean, I'm sure there have been chances where United have won the league and the City should have gotten sent down, and it never happened. At least my
But
knowledge.
we've won the
So
league twice, right, at their ground. It's like it's like we've won the league twice at their ground, and then we go for a 20-odd-year drought, and the year that we win it, they get relegated.
that's so funny, man.
That's like
It's like
voodoo.
poetic.
That's like voodoo.
It's poetic, man. It's like
Oh, you can't make it up. That's true.
No, you make movies about shit like that and put it on Netflix. That's what happens, right?
I hear Colin Firth right now in my ears going, we might win the league this year. And Tottenham might get relegated.
Because here's the thing, right, Alonso, right? And I was saying this earlier, I don't know if you was here. They're 1 point above relegation.
Mhm.
And this is a different thing, right? Those teams that are already in the relegation battle, they're the kind of teams that if they do get relegated, the players in those teams, the majority of them are going to be the ones that are going to have to dig them out of the shit and trying to get them back. Whereas with Tottenham, some of those players are already saying to their agents, get me out of here.
I'm a celebrity. I'm a Tottenham player.
And Romero and Solanke, they're not going down to the Championship and think, okay, we'll stay and we'll try and get... No, they're out of there. They're gone. So they haven't got the stomach for it, whereas that's the problem. They're like, whether we stay up or not, I'm out anyway. Whereas these other teams around them, those players are fighting. They've got the fight in their belly because they're like, fuck, if we go down, fuck, now we're going to be in the Championship and I'm probably going to still be at this team. And I've got, I want to stay in the Premier League. That's why I get noticed. That's why I get better money. That's why I get better bonuses. So they're fighting. Whereas the Tottenham players are like, I'm fucking leaving anyway. So
I'm out.
I'm a celebrity. Man. Get me out of here. I'm a celebrity.
It's funny because I remember it was 2018 or 19 that Mickey Benderven was supposed to be this next great defender back from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And he played with Juventus, Barcelona, and now he's on with Spurs, and there's no way that he should be playing for a team like that. For the level of talent that he has, he should be playing for a top club, like an Arsenal or I hate to say it, but City or Liverpool. But he should never have been at Tottenham because he's world-class center back, to me at least. And like you said, Stan, it's like, hey, how you have a captain getting red carded left and right, and they say he's better than Saliba? Come on, man. And it's like they had this false hope about themselves, that the fans do, that they're gonna. I mean, what kind of players they have? They're gonna do something major. To this day, as much as I hate saying this, why do you sell Son the way you did? They treated him like crap, man. Like captain. This one to LA FC, I think it was. It's like, no, they deserve to be relegated. They deserve to be relegated after that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts.
And I always thought to myself as well, like, when Jose Mourinho was the manager, he got them to a final. And they got rid of him. And I thought to myself, no matter what is going on behind the scenes, right, no matter how much, let's say, for example, I'm just like summarizing, no matter how much this guy is a fucking pain in the ass and I'm going to get rid of him, you know what, we've got to see this job through. And he's got us to a final. I'm not going to rock that boat now. I'm going to have to put up with this shit. But win, lose or draw after that final, I'm going to wield the axe. If it's that bad. But see the job through, right? It's bigger than that. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than this guy that's giving you the needle, like he just rubs you up the wrong way, because that guy might win you your first big trophy. And you go and switch it like that? What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? The players were obviously buying into what was going on. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been getting to the final. So leave that. then if he really, even if he wins, if you don't like this guy that much, he really is that much of a problem, then swing the axe and take the flak then, but not now. So I never understood why a club would make a move like that, especially a club that had this big tag about not winning any silverware for how long? The memes, the gifts, the chants. You're right there now because of this guy, and you want to go and start making a move like that and like change. No. When I saw that, I thought to myself, this team ain't for real. If they're willing to do that kind of shit, they're not for real, man. You just wouldn't do that.
No.
That's ego.
BX said Everton will be tougher than Brighton, but we have too much quality for them. I was looking at the home and away table, and I was thinking, I want to see where City are and where they've picked up the points. Where they
I haven't finished with Tottenham yet.
Huh?
Because they had this reputation, right, of not paying high wages. That was a reputation that they had. But they signed Conor Gallagher, and they're paying him 240 bags.
Yeah.
So they've gone completely the other way. And he's coming off the bench today.
They seem to have gone a little bit like we did when we got Aubameyang and Lacazette. We went for experienced players.
I mean, do you think, right? I mean, Ange Postecoglou, right? They finished 17th in the league under Ange Postecoglou, who did, when he joined the club, right? He did prophesize and say, "Oh, there's been something in the second season," which looked like it was going to come and bite him on the arse for a long time. But they finished. So think about it, right? If you are Tottenham, a lifelong Tottenham supporter like us, our kind of age, and you haven't seen any kind of silverware, you've got Arsenal doing their feats, and then this guy comes along, and he actually gets you your first trophy, something to get rid of that thing. But you finish 17th. But you finish 17th in the league, right? Are you really that arrogant to go just get rid of him, or say, okay, let's see if that was some sort of a bedding in? The guy won us our first. You know what I'm getting at? I don't know. Was he really that bad then? Was it really that bad where it was like, nah?
They were pretty open. They're pretty open at the back, but what we're seeing with Arsenal this season is that the Europe Champions League games are more open. The Champions League games are more open, right?
He didn't last long at the next club after that either, did he?
No.
So.
No. BX said there's a stench associated with the club, and players and managers start to become rotten and miserable. Only Spurs can have Kane and Son and not win anything. That's ridiculous. I had those kind of players.
If you're Thomas Frank now, you're thinking to yourself,
Thomas Frank.
Surely, you're at Brentford, right? And Tottenham comes up. What do you do? You're like,
no.
He made that move. I'm sure maybe the weekly thing went up. What he was earning probably must have gone up. I wouldn't have thought it was the same. But what happened there, man? And I understand it as well. Listening to some of the phone-ins and that there were times where, orders. I'm not going to name the player, but there was like a certain player you would think is one of like the first ones off the ship. Being given instructions and not following through for Thomas Frank. And this current guy, Henry Tudor, Igor Tudor, I think of Henry VIII.
Yeah.
But if you're in that kind of a situation, you want to hide into nothing, right? As a manager, and so like you've got like the phone. I was into the phone, right? One of the most popular. What are we going to do then? What's the answer? What are we going to do? Do you know what one of the most popular fixes to this problem is, according to Tottenham fans?
What?
Have a guess.
Sack somebody, is that what you mean?
Like what they think the answer is. Their problem that Tottenham have, right? What I'm hearing is a lot of the fans, guess what they think is the answer.
Board? Is it the board?
No. They think, right, that what they need to do is they need to hire Harry Redknapp. 80-year-old Harry Redknapp. You know what to do?
It's like Sam Allardyce.
And I'm thinking to myself, he's 80 years old, bless him. Football's changed. And the thing is as well, okay, you bring back Harry Redknapp, but Harry Redknapp's not going to be able to bring back Peter Crouch or Nico Kranja, who he used to take to every club. It's always like, yeah, goes to a club, signs Crouchy and Nico Kranja. Them days have gone, but they feel that they could bring in Harry Redknapp, who would steady the ship and be able to get them out of a relegation and then appoint someone. And I just think to myself,
stabilize things.
That's a really big gamble, man. You know?
Yeah.
You're at the stage where, from what I can see, players don't want to be there. They don't want to be saved. They're not looking for a saviour to come in to make it all right. They're already like, as I say, you know, if you're in a team like Nottingham Forest or Burnley, yeah, you're thinking to yourself, or Wolves, you're thinking to yourself, if we go down, I'm going to be in the Championship, and if I'm lucky, I'll still be in this team, and I'm going to be fighting to get us back up. Whereas in Tottenham, the majority of those players are like, I ain't going in the Championship. They're already telling to their agents, put the feelers out. You can see by their body language, they're just like walking around. They're not like, well, yeah, if we stay up, I'm staying at Tottenham. If I can keep us up, I'm staying here. They already look like they don't want to be there. Win, lose, or draw. That's what I'm looking at. And that's why I'm thinking they could go down. Because the other teams are trying to scratch out wins. They're really trying to hustle and bustle. Tottenham are like, don't give a fuck. If we stay up, great. I'm leaving anyway. If we go down, I ain't fucking going to be in the Championship. They ain't got the stomach for it.
No.
Paulinho is on loan there, right? He didn't go there on loan. So then at the end of the season, if they get relegated, go, where do I sign? That's how it works. Do you know what I mean? He's like, see ya. I go and play for Hearts next season. See ya. You know? Whereas these other teams like Burnley, if they get relegated, those players don't want to get relegated because they're stuck to Burnley, right? They're like They're the ones that are going to have to go down and fucking play against fucking QPR, whoever it might be. They want to stay up in the big leagues, try and get into Europe, the European Conference, whatever it's called, you know, the smaller one. You know? Tottenham, they're like, we're out. Van der Ven does not want to be there. Ramiro doesn't want to be there. They'd rather get red carded and go off and go home. I don't even want to complete the game. I don't even want to complete 90 minutes for you. I know I'm your captain, but I'm off. 2 captains now, red carded in a row. Where's the leadership coming from? Do you know what I mean? Where is the leadership coming from? And it's obvious that they do not believe in this new guy, because you only have to look at how he put the team out. It's like putting players into positions that they don't play in, and it's all mad. It's like they've hired Jerry Lewis and he's taken the serum. Now he's turning it into a mad professor. It's like, you've got a right back doing what now? You've got who playing at right back? What are you doing? You've got like a right back playing in the centre. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this isn't jazz. This is football. You're like, no, mate, you can't do that. Mate, it wouldn't surprise me if they go down, man. It would not surprise me. And do I care? There's a part of me that's like, well, you know, you missed that Derby game and all that, but fucking hell, the banter. Yeah. But the banter tops it, doesn't it? The banter does top it. If they get relegated and we win the league, you never come back from that. When you're arguing on top of Tottenham and they're going this, that, and the other, Glenn Hoddle, do you know what I mean? Alan Gilzine, this, that, and the other, Jimmy Greaves. You're like, what? You mean that time when we won the league after 20 years? And you know, in that same league when you got relegated, that's it. It's just like, drop the mic. What a fairy tale. It's like, you couldn't write this shit if that happened. You could not write it. It's, you know, the irony of it all is just like, fuck. That year that we finally lifted the trophy, our biggest rival got relegated. Just saying it out loud makes me laugh.
It sunk down the table. Down the table, closer and closer.
That would be the creme de la creme, wouldn't it? Would it not? Would it not? Come on. You know, we're not sitting with your grandchild on your knee years from now and you're telling the story. That's a great one. And then after 22 years, we finally lifted the trophy. And then what happened, Granddad? The Spuds got relegated. Really? I mean, I mean, you can't beat that shit.
No. Oh my
You know?
God.
But I mean, look at the players they brought in, right? Starting from Timo Werner to Harry Madison and Adoje and all these supposed look at Solanke. They brought in players that thought that they could get them over the line or a top four finish, what have you, and they knew of Harry Madison's injury record, right? They knew he was not going to play that often because he's always hurt. And then you give up on your star player because you want what 20 million. It seems like that make you wonder if they're really serious about anything other than winning a conference trophy, whatever it was. So it's just
Rightfully.
shambles, man.
But here's the thing, right? I just lost my train of thought. I was going to say, here was the thing with Tottenham. If they get relegated, there is no guarantee that they will automatically come up for the simple reason that, as we've already discussed, they've got a team which have got players that believe that they play at a higher caliber. A majority of those players are not willing to see out their contract to play in the Championship. I don't see Van der Veen going, yeah, at the end of the season, yeah, we got relegated, but I'm going to be in the Championship and I'm going to do everything we can do to get. No, he's already gone. Them bags are packed. So they're going to lose a lot of key players, which means that when they go down to the Championship, they're going to be around a lot of teams that are already preparing to come up, while they're going to have to be bringing in new players because their main players are leaving. They're gone. Richarlison's not playing in the fucking Championship. Solanke's not playing in the Championship. Muwani's not playing in the Championship. Simons isn't playing in the Championship. You know what I'm getting at? I can go on and on and on and on. These players don't want to play in the Championship, which means they're going to have to bring in more players. What that means is that they've got to be an adjustment, an adaptation. Meanwhile, the teams around them in the Championship are already fucking geared, primed and ready to move forward and get into playoffs and all of that. Tottenham will be going through a transition. There is no guarantee that if they get relegated, they're coming straight back. Because the players that they've got now will not be there, which means gelling, getting the right players. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be like, it's really going to be like, fuck. Do you know what I'm getting at? It's not like Burnley getting relegated. Burnley get relegated, right? The majority of those players will still be playing for Burnley and they'll be still the same cohesive. There'll be some changes. Tottenham, how many? They're international players, man. They ain't going down to play in the Championship, which means they've got to bring up kids that might not be ready to experiment. While they're fucking experimenting, everyone around them in the Championship, who are kind of contenders, they're ready, they're set, which means that Tottenham may not bounce back. They may not be automatically back. That's the problem. If I was a Tottenham fan, that would be my biggest worry. If we go down, these players ain't going to be there to dig us out of shit.
Stan, I have a question for you.
We'll have to get cheaper players. That might not work. Meanwhile, everyone around us is like, yeah, we know the Championship. We know what we need to do. We came second last year. We're not going to lose it this year. Meanwhile, Tottenham are floundering, right? They're trying to get used to the lay of the land, bringing in these new players. It could be fucking hell for them. Because Mickey Van der Veen is not going to be there next in the Championship. He's not. Paired up with Romero, with Porro. They're not going to be there. That's not why they went to Tottenham.
No, they won't go down.
Richarlison. What, in the fucking
Richarlison.
World Cup season as well? Come on. They're going to have to, it's going to be a total rebuild and transition should they get relegated. And for me, that says no automatic bounce back. They could be out of the fucking big leagues for a while, man.
Hey, Stan, I have a question for you, Stan. Do you see Tottenham, right, being like a Norwich, always fighting up and down, or do you see them as maybe a Villa or West Ham being in the Championship for a very long time, and then they get magic again, and they come back to the league maybe once every 7 years?
Yeah, but they've only just recently won some silverware. but they're not a team that you would think that if you were finishing the season and someone said, okay, season X is finishing, can you give me a prediction looking at next season of the 3 teams that you think may go down? You're not going to say Spurs, even though you might not like them. That's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You know, even though you hate Spurs, can you give me, when was the last time you could think of someone saying to you, okay, the season's just ended, which 3 teams would go down next season? Spurs, no. They might finish in 7th or 8th or 12th or 3rd. Who knows? But you're not going to be like, yeah, they're fucking getting relegated down a division. This is the reality that's happening now. It's mental. Absolutely fucking mental when you think about it. You know? Since Arsenal have been in the top division, whether it's been the first division and then it turned into the Premier League, we've never been relegated in like 88 years now, 90 years, something like that. It's high. We've never had that. It just hasn't happened. Tottenham are literally 1 point above the relegation zone with a load of players that don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That are too big for their boots, that do not want to fucking... The fucking championship is beneath them. These are international players. In the World Cup year, they're not going down and fighting for the cause. What are they going to do? It's going to be a rebuild. Everyone around them in that division, they've been working for that. They've been working for the... You know what I'm getting at? They're already set. If it's not the same players that are going down, you know, it's not like the Tottenham team as we see it. The whole squad is going to get relegated and they're all staying. It's that squad in the championship. They're going to be like, wow, man, they're going to win every game. Because those players you would consider as a team, they're of a higher level, right? From where they're from. But all them players are leaving, mate. They're out of there and they are walking around on the pitch already. So it's very possible that they will go down because a team like Burnley or West Ham, they're fighting for it. If they know that they ain't got that ticket out.
Yeah, and they can roll up. They can roll up the sleeves.
They've got the stomach for it. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
This could be really surprising. Could be really surprising. And what an upset it would be. Tottenham getting relegated. I mean, when was the last big team that got relegated? Newcastle, remember? They went down.
Newcastle, West Ham.
Who else? West Ham were down for a while.
Aston Villa.
They've been in for 10 years, though. They've been in for about a while.
Oh, Aston Villa. Yeah.
And you have a lot of teams which are kind of a bit yo-yo-y, isn't they? Like a Southampton. They'd be up for a while, floating around, and then boom, no, not this time. They're down. You know? Who else? In the old days, yeah, Norwich, or Bolton. Back in the old days.
Middlesbrough.
But Middlesbrough. But Tottenham, come on. You know, as bad as it can get, you're expecting to play 2 derby games the next season, aren't you? Surely.
Yeah.
But you're not now. You're like, ooh, okay. So what's our derby? Okay, here's a good one. Who is our legitimate derby game if Tottenham get relegated? Who is it?
Wow.
Who is it? Our legitimate?
Yeah.
Is it Chelsea?
Chelsea, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, they're not from North London. But who's
No,
the
it won't
closest?
be. It'll be just
Brentford?
London. Huh? Brentford or South London, right?
Who is it then? Who would be our derby team? I mean, surely we're not going to say Man City. I mean, it's not even in the same fucking town. But so who legitimately? Who would be? Is it West Ham?
Chelsea, I'd have to say.
West Ham?
Chelsea would be the next biggest club in London. You know, that rivalry would
derby, right? That's what it is. It's the same city.
Yeah, that rivalry would get bigger.
Think about it, right? We've got a lot of derbies because it's the city which is the derby. 2 teams in the same city. We've got a lot of teams in London, but for us, we were in a situation where in the north part of London, there were 2 big clubs, or 1 big club and 1 lesser club. But you know what I'm getting at? Which caused that? It's like Glasgow. You know, the old firm game isn't between a team in Glasgow and 1 in Edinburgh. It's the same city. 2 Glasgow teams, right?
Yeah.
Rangers and Celtic.
Yeah.
So basically, any team playing in London now is a derby game because there's not another team in North London, right?
Yeah.
So that means West Ham, Chelsea, Brentford, Is there anyone else?
Palace, Crystal Palace.
Palace. Yeah, Palace. Yeah. Is that it?
That's about
Have I
it.
missed anyone? Is there anyone else? I think that's it, isn't it? Palace, South London,
Fulham.
Brentford, Fulham.
We
West
got Fulham or no? West Ham.
West Ham.
All right. That's
Yeah. They're all
That's
derbies
it.
now, really.
yeah. And they, you know,
You know, we could be the only team in the top league defending North London while they're going to QPR and whoever it may be.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? As a fan, obviously there's the banter. You got relegated, but
get rid of
would you rather they didn't go down for the derbies because they're your big games, or are you like, no, fuck that? It's Tottenham. If they went relegated, that'd be worth it. That'd be funny. You know, where are you at?
Nobody's gonna lose sleep over this. I want them relegated. You have the opportunity to relegate them. I say, send them down.
I'm with you. So you're saying you're quite happy to sacrifice those two assured derby games, for the feeling of them getting relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And watch them. Might even watch them toil in the division for a few more years down there. You know,
can you imagine that? They're like fighting They're like fighting for relegation in that league because
they might be good enough to get to the playoff.
Those players in that team that they've got now, good or bad, all of them are players that could get work in France, Spain, other places. But
Germany.
Not the fucking championship. Even someone like Porro. There's one young kid. He could get somewhere else. Maybe the same money or a bit better, right? Not the fucking championship. Which means that they're going to have to bring a lot of people in. They don't spend a lot of money. Who they're going to bring in? There's going to be some gambles. They haven't got like a fucking. I'm sure they haven't got an academy of 11 players that can just come in. So there could be a really big transition time for Spurs, and they could languish. There's no guarantee that Tottenham, if they get relegated, that's the big one. But if they do, that could be the worst thing because there's no guarantee that they're out for 1 year.
Yeah.
They're out for 1 year and they just bounce back because they're going to lose. It's like, you're going to lose that girl. You're going to lose that girl. They're going to lose everything. They're gone. They're gone. The players are not got the stomach. They're not. Our Burnley players are like, okay, fuck it. Okay, I loved it in the Premier League. We got relegated, but you know what? Fuck. They're not. They're gone.
Yeah. All right.
It's a difference.
We'll wind it up. We'll wind it up here in a few minutes, right? This month coming up is going to be an important one because we have one league game coming up in the middle of the month. It's against Everton. I think I mentioned that they're very difficult.
We've got a European game after.
Wait, that's the important thing now. There's going to be
Leverkusen.
We're going to be playing in four competitions now, Stan and Alonso, this month, and we have
Leverkusen next week.
Bayer Leverkusen on Wednesday. Yeah.
Home or away?
Home. No, away. It's the away leg first. So there will have to be heavily rotated. We speculated about the lineup for Mansfield Town. I would imagine it would be heavily rotated to allow some rest for the players who are going to play in Germany. You
think that would be the most sensible move, right?
It would be the most sensible move to use the strength of your squad now. You know,
that was the reason why we did it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. It's like I really like what we did in the transfer window, in the way that I've always felt. One of the reasons I feel so optimistic this season, and I have earlier, is that even though we got to that time when we got 1 point and we didn't win it, in that season I didn't expect us to go that far because I always felt we never had enough. We never had enough quality bodies to sustain a charge and be good in other competitions, whereas this season we have. I really believe that. But it doesn't mean shit if you don't utilise it. There's no point having a Zubamendi blowing out of his arsehole and having a nice fresh Norgard on the bench, and you're not going to do nothing about it. And as I said earlier, the reason he came on in the last game was because Declan Rice was like hobbling, and he said to the bench, "I need to come off." You know, think about it. This another way you can think about it, right? Like, it's good to have that foresight and not try to run yourself into the ground, right? But do you think that Declan Rice is the sort of person that wants to have to say, "Listen, I need to come off"? Why wasn't that noticed? Why wasn't it already picked up on? Why isn't, someone going, right, we need to get Declan off? Why put him in that position? Do you know what I'm getting at? And because he had to come off, no one came on. But maybe we shouldn't have got to that. It got to there in the first place. You're seeing set pieces being taken, and you see him hobbling a bit and wincing a bit. Why does he need to come over and say, "I need"? You know what I mean? And Declan Rice, he doesn't come off because he's not that sort of guy, right? If he's saying I need to come off, he needs to come off.
Oh, yeah.
Because he'd stay on forever, right? If he could, because that's who he is. So
no, Declan Rice won't come on.
Why are we getting into that situation for a start? It's not good. It's 8 games to go, man. 8 games to fucking go. Let's play it smart.
So
you've got to somehow work something out where you're thinking to yourself, how can I get Declan Rice for 8 games? It's key. How can I get Saka? That's what you should be thinking. How can I get the other stuff around it is really nice. The other stuff around it is really nice. This is the Christmas tree. All the other stuff is the decorations. Yes, the Champions League. Yeah, as I said that, I do think the League Cup final is our most important game before anything.
Yeah. If we
that is the game.
We have 20 games left. If we play every game of this available game, we'll play 20 games left. 8 of them will be in the Premier League. I think 7 of them will be in the Champions League, and a cup final and 4 games for the FA Cup. But just around that, we'll get out of here. But just around that, what the podcast has been kind of about. I go to check on what my nephew.
This is so good.
I just go to check my messages, and my nephew, who's a Manchester City fan, left me all of these pictures. Right, it's pictures of these pundits. It's Wayne Rooney, it's Jamie Carragher, it's Gary Neville, it's Roy Keane, it's Obi Mikel, right, and Paul Scholes, John Obi Mikel and Paul Scholes. They're all criticizing Arsenal.
But here's the thing, right? I don't support Arsenal for other people's favour. Like us or hate us, I'm still going to support the club. And I'm that sort of personality where, that saying, no one likes us, we don't care. Have you ever seen that clip where of George Graham talking to the team where Arsenal had a brawl with Man United and points were docked?
2 points deducted.
Points were docked. And there's like a meeting and it's outside and the thing, and he's go and watch that. That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Do you know what I mean? If you're supporting Arsenal because you want to be like a Real Madrid where it's like, I support a team where not only do I like them, everyone else likes them as well. They're universally loved like a Barcelona. No. There was a time, listen, think about it. There was a time when Arsenal was like that. There was a time when there were so many people that they would support their team, and I'd hear it from them. They would support Newcastle, Liverpool, Man U, wherever team it would be, and I'd be talking with them, and they'd be like, I watch Arsenal games. They appreciated it, yeah? But if you think about it now, right? Oh, yeah, they loved watching Arsenal games back then, because you know what? What did we win?
Fuck all.
Nothing. And back then, they were like, yeah, I love watching Arsenal. Now that we're winning and we're getting there, they're not saying that now. Now they're like, I fucking hate watching Arsenal games.
Can't stand them.
Fucking hate it. Do you see what I mean? They pat you on the head when you're not a threat. Yeah, you might lose a couple of points to Arsenal, but they're not going to win it. We've got a pat on the head, playing 3 number 10s in the same team, and you're like, fucking hell, what are you doing? There were times when it worked, and other times you just fucking get spanked. Now we're doing something else, right? How many times don't they understand how many times in the last 5 years have we finished second? In the last 5 seasons, how many times have we finished second?
3 or 4.
How many?
3.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I mean, what is the next step? You've tried everything else. You went through a season where Martin Odegaard from midfield scored 15 goals and 7 assists. And what did we win at the end of that season? Nothing. So what? You want that again? For some reason, we've managed to play in some sort of a style where coming into March, we're 7 points ahead in the league. Man City have got a game in hand, but they just drew to Nottingham Forest. We finished the Champions League 8 games at the top without losing a single game. We've got a final coming up with Man City. And we have got a fucking squeeze in the FA Cup because we're playing. I keep wanting to say Mansfield.
You want to say Macclesfield, but it's Mansfield.
Yeah, Macclesfield. It's Mansfield. I want to say Macclesfield. So we're in a good place right now. Right now, at this moment, what is there to be pissed off about? It doesn't mean in 3 weeks' time that may change. But right now, we're not at 3 weeks' time yet. That's not here. Right now, be happy.
5th of March.
Be happy. There's no other team in England. Show me another team in England that's in the same position. Show me one.
Nope. Nobody else is there.
Tell me one other team that is in this position. Show me another team in Europe that's in this position.
Man City.
Yeah, but Man City didn't win all of their games in Europe. So show me another team in Europe that's got the same. You know what I'm getting at? They're in the league. They're in the league 7 points ahead. They're in the Champions League, and they've won every single one of their games. They're in a cup final of one of their domestic cups, and in the other domestic cup, they're playing someone which should be a bye. What other team in Europe is in this position right now? There isn't one.
No, there isn't one. We need to bring some of these trophies home, Stan. Liverpool won the league last year, and they failed to do any kind of a double. They were in a final with Newcastle, and they weren't able to show up on the day and get the Carabao Cup final. So that would be a double. Why not be greedy though? You know, think about a third.
When is the Carabao Cup final? Do you have a date there, anyone?
22nd.
22nd of
March.
Yeah, man.
17 days from now. So, and the nice thing about that is that we're not going to lose a beat against City because that's the team we're going to play. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're going to be in a cup final and our closest rival.
If we go to that final and we get smashed, I'm not sure if the players that we have can pick up the pieces to that. Man.
I'll leave you with one other thing.
We go there and we fucking score there and we walk off that pitch with the trophy.
I'll leave you with one other thing.
It really is on. It really is on.
The toughest result in the last month was that Wolverhampton Wanderers game where we drew 2-2. Wow. Man City just handed that back to us. You know, those points lost that was hurting us. Man City just handed that back to us with their draw against.
Well, we said earlier, right, with the way that we weigh the progression, we were at 80-20, I said, yeah? If we lose that final, where does that go?
Well, it goes down about 10 points, right?
For me, that goes down to 60-40.
Yeah, 70, something like that. Tiger, I'm back from driving to my next job. LOL. Well, are you in the Formula One race this weekend, Tiger? You know, so that's where we're at. We're firmly in 4 competitions on the 5th of March, 2026. Very important now that we drive home a couple of these competitions and bring some trophy and silverware into the cabinet after quite a few years. Last time we tasted a trophy of any kind was 2020. It was one of those 14 FA Cups.
I just want to ask Alonso a question, right? Alonso, I've been making this big deal about the Carabao Cup final because it's Man City, and how everyone talks about how the Premier League match against Man City at the Etihad could be the title decider. I think it's the Carabao Cup final. Because if we score them, and then we've got that league fixture coming up, our players are the ones walking on air. It's the Man City that are doubting themselves. But if we go into that final, and a lot of the criticism about Mikel Arteta has been, can't get us to a final. If we don't come out of that, then it gives Man City, our players now have doubt. Even when we get to the final, man, we couldn't get across the line. There's that doubt. And while you've got that doubt, you're going into the next Premier League game, and you're going in there with that doubt. And before you know it, instead of getting 3 points in that Premier League game, you've got a draw because you weren't fully on it. Do you know what I'm getting at? I just think that this game in the Carabao Cup against Man City, I think this is the pinnacle. Not because it's the Carabao Cup final, and that's big enough as it is, a final, but it's Man City. You beat them in this one, you walk into that fucking Premier League title game large. What do you think?
Yeah, I know people are gonna say, well, League Cup final, right? But to me, it still holds prestige. And to me, we owe them one. I think they beat us a couple of years ago in a cup final, maybe a semifinal. Regardless, I think, like you said, Stan, I think if it's the time to beat City in a big game, and it is a big game to me, there's the time is now.
And just one quick point before you continue, I just want to say, it's so big that even if someone like Kepa has been the goalkeeper you've been using to get to that point,
you're right.
Because it's the first trophy, who it's against, what it could lead to, you cannot be sentimental. And if you do not believe that Kepa is your best goalkeeper, then you cannot play him. If David Raya is fit, do you know what I'm getting at? This is a cup final.
Yeah.
You cannot be like, oh, this guy has got me through to this. No. Because if you do that and you're sentimental and fucking City win, the fall-on and the knock-on effect of what that does, it's fucking really hard to repair that.
Yeah.
And someone like Kepa should understand that. He should be like, you know what? I've only been here for 5 minutes. This team has been searching for this trophy for over 22 years. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to kick up a fuss and be like, hold on a minute. If I was the manager and Kepa was like, and I just said, you know what? I'm not playing you for this final. And he was like, hold on a minute. You played me for all the things. I'd be like thinking, I'd listen to what he said. I still wouldn't play him, but I would fucking sell him the next season because I'd be like, there's a bigger picture and you didn't fucking get in with it. You've only been here for 5 minutes. We've been trying to do this for 20 years. We're grateful that you got us here and you're going to get a medal for that. But come on, man. If you was the number one fucking keeper, you'd be playing every week in the league and you're not. So just fucking stay in your lane. I'm not saying he's doing that, but I'm saying that that's where we're at now. We can't fucking give charity because this it's not like we're playing a Carabao Cup final against Blackpool or Accrington Stanley. We're playing against a team where win, lose or draw, it actually means something because this is a team which is our biggest rival to win the big trophy. It's Man City. They're considered the big dogs. They're the ones with the big balls, the big reputation, more trophies over the last 5, 6, 7 years or whatever it is, right? We're trying to snatch that. So if we do not fucking get any result, obviously we need to play our number one team. It's so big because if you win that, now Man City, they're drawing to Nottingham Forest. And if they lose to Arsenal, the number one contender, their bottoms will fall out. They'll start to doubt themselves. And while they're doubting themselves and losing points, we're confident and we're winning points. And that's what it's about. This is the big game, man. This is the fucking one.
It's funny reading it up, Stan, because remember how I believe it was Fabianski, right? Got us to FA Cup final, not once but twice, I think it was. And we didn't change goalkeepers. We did the opposite way you're thinking. However, like you said, it is City. And Raya has been great this year. But that's a decision Arteta has to live with in that moment. Because remember, we played a cup final before against Birmingham. And we lost that game because we were too confident and too cocky going into that game. and one mistake cost us that game. Laurent Koscielny and Roger Chesney.
Yeah, but that last game that we went in there as favourites, right, against Birmingham City.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. This is a different kettle of fish. We're not playing a Birmingham City or a Portsmouth. What do you think? Man City are going to think? Do you think Man City are going? It's the Carabao Cup against Arsenal. It's the less of the competitions. We're going to play our B team. No. This is a mind game thing, right? Man City are still in the hunt in the Premier League. This game counts. Whoever wins this game, it's like a mental thing, right? They're not going to play fucking kids. They're not going to play B players. They're going in full strength. Haaland's not going to be on the bench. That's not happening. Yeah, exactly. And we should be the same. Yeah, David Raya should be in goal. Saka should be starting. We should be going there to play.
Donnarumma will be in goal.
I know that it's the lesser cup, and usually you would do that, right? But we're doing it in a season where we're having to play a final, the first time that we can get that first trophy against the big bollocks who've been winning everything.
Yeah.
It's not like we're playing Crystal Palace. No disrespect. But you know what I'm getting at? This one counts because it's more than this game. There's more to come. And what comes is a game against Man City at the Etihad. And if you go in there, man, already getting battered, it's an uphill battle. If we can go into that game and we're the ones running around with the trophy and their players are ones smacking the fucking ground in annoyance, that helps.
Yeah.
And our fractured fucking fan base may come a little bit closer.
Yeah.
It's like FA Cup final, really.
Big deal, man.
Yeah.
If you're not looking at the next fixtures and not thinking that is not the biggest hurdle, I don't know where you are. Forget all this stuff in the league. It's because it's them.
It's mad though, Stan, that what you would say the weakest competition, the Carabao Cup.
If we go into that game,
the most important.
You know when it's an hour before kickoff and you go onto your phone to bring up the lineup to see what's going on.
Yeah.
If I do that, right, and I see Kepa in goal, I'm going to think to myself, you arrogant sod. And I use sod instead of another word. Because we're not at that level. We're not a team that's just won the treble the previous year, right?
I mean,
we ain't that team. We haven't won a treble the previous year. So if we were in a final and you're playing Kepa because he done this and he done that on the way there,
I get it that you're trusting one of your players.
Sentimental bullshit.
Man, it's crazy. You're risking a trophy. You're risking a trophy just to play one of the players that you think that you value as part of the squad.
You play your best. Come on. If it's a final, why isn't Kepa playing every week?
You're right. You
know, if we'd won 3 trophies last season, I get it, but we ain't done that.
We will leave it there, Stan. I think we said a lot. I think we've got the point across tonight. Maybe enjoy the journey. We're on the hunt for 4 trophies still, and life is good as an Arsenal fan. Pick up 3 wins in a row, right? We pick up 3 wins in a row, and Man City have fumbled. And the narrative, if it went the other way and Arsenal fumbled another draw and Man City won, Pep Guardiola would be the genius and we'd be the laughing stock. So it's crazy how the media have not picked up on that stuff. Hopefully Tony's doing okay. Gary checked in a little bit earlier. Alonso, thanks for joining tonight.
Yeah, it was a fun chat with you guys, and hopefully we could get a win at Mansfield. And
Macclesfield Town. Right?
Yeah. Macclesfield. Why do we keep picking at Macclesfield?
But it
is Nigel Clough. It's Nigel Clough, isn't it? Brian Clough's son.
Nigel Clough, Brian Clough's son. Yeah. And Stan, thanks for being here tonight. We move forward. Listen, I do have to go out of town, but I'm thankful that it's the FA Cup and it's Mansfield Town. And
can I just say before we finish, because can I just say, right? I've been experimenting in the settings, right? That's why I've got this background.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, anyone that's watching, right, this could be your company logo. If you want this to be your company logo, please DM me and we'll find a rate to fit your pocket. So yeah, you know what
There
I
you
mean?
go. You never know.
Basically, I'm like, it's better than seeing my ironing board and my clothes horse. And I've never been in the settings before, so who knows what you may see next week?
Yeah.
It could be something completely different.
Gary was
It
way
may,
ahead of us years ago.
it may even have boobs. Maybe it won't. But you'll
Maybe.
have to tune in to find out.
All right. We move forward. It's the FA Cup. It's Mansfield Town. With all due respect, we should be
Macclesfield.
talking about
It's Macclesfield.
Arsenal. It's not Macclesfield. It's
It should be
Mansfield.
Macclesfield. Arsenal
Should be.
versus Macclesfield.
Breaking news: Mansfield
Mansfield
have
on the
been
left
dropped out of the
Arsenal on
cup.
the attack. Macclesfield scored a goal. Goal to Macclesfield. Yeah, the old school.
Kenneth
Microphones.
Waltonstone. I remember Kenneth
Got the old
Waltonstone.
microphone.
Jimmy Hill. All the greats. Alonso, take care. We'll see you next one. And we're out of here. Thanks, guys. Come on, you Gunners. Good night, pal.
Stanhausen.